Reborn in the apocalypse, I begin by plundering all the city's resources. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. 151, Ruthless Luman, a poisonous plan to destroy the Zile base. Xiao Yu needs to know why the mastermind behind the scenes wants to destroy mankind. What are their identities? How many bases are there? Where's the headquarters? And how strong is the strength? Know thyself, ever victorious. Therefore, some high-level personnel must be brought back for interrogation from the Luhu base. At this time, the Red Queen replayed the monitoring and playback of the Luhu base in the form of projection, and the team members could see the appearance of the base more intuitively. In fact, there is not much useful information. There is only one island in the middle of the lake. The island has a large closed floor that opens automatically every time the helicopter enters and exits. Captain, I suggest launching the missile directly. Since the base is underground, it will definitely not kill everyone. We will rush in and capture the survivors. No, we don't know how big the base is. 35 in case it exceeds our imagination. Once rushing in, if there are mechanical weapons, it may cause casualties, then we won't go in. We'll just wait outside. If they haven't eaten, they'll come out naturally. If there is a lot of food under the base, will we guard them for a year, 2 years, or even 10 years? Everyone, you speak my word, but no effective solution has been given. Xiao Yu looked at Luman. She was still as calm as always. Her brows were slightly wrinkled, and she fell into contemplation. After a while her brows gradually spread. Xiao Yu smiled lightly. Luman, talk about it. Good captain, I think first and foremost, we're definitely going to blow up the entrance to the base. Secondly, with such a large foundation, there must be large intake and exhaust channels, which should be near Luhu Lake, and we have to find it, then block the intake and exhaust passages. Finally, wasn't there 400,000 zombies killed by the explosion in the hinterland beyond Highway 40 from our base? Even if many zombies have no bones left, but there are at least 200,000 zombies. They died because of the shock wave. Captain, you, Xiao Xiaoran, including Xiao, you all have Space Warehouse 297, just use the Space Warehouse to collect these corpses, and then throw all the corpses into the base from the entrance of the bombed-up base. It's hot in July right now. 200,000 corpses block the entrance to the base, and the odor of the decomposed corpses would turn into poisonous gas, which would be poured directly into the underground base. 99 At this time, the people in the base can only escape. Think about it. There must be a secret passage in this kind of hidden base. Let the Red Queen directly monitor the entire Luhu area. Seeing that no one appears anywhere, it means that the secret passage is there. And we can just wait and see. Xiao Yu's eyes suddenly lit up. This is a good way. Luman was right. Blast the entrance of the base first. There must be intake and exhaust channels in the underground base, and the two channels are directly blocked. Then throw the zombie corpse in. With at least 200,000 zombie corpses, with the scorching hot weather in July, within 2 days, the entire underground base will stink into the sky even with the air purifier on. It doesn't help because the intake passages and exhaust passages are all blocked. Not even oxygen can get in. The people inside will be deprived of oxygen, and it always bears the disgusting stench after the zombies rot. The only way is to escape from the secret passage. Okay, let's do it. Xiao Yu laughed immediately. Luman is indeed a woman who has been trained in the business world. Very smart and wise and vicious eyes. The mind is also harsh, of course. Xiao Yu doesn't exclude people who are hard-hearted, and there is a great need for such people in his team. If the whole team is all cute and even the rotten good people who are overflowing with love then don't survive in this apocalypse. Just die early and clean. Queen of Red, you can formulate tactics, how to bomb, and how deep. The Red Queen appeared at the meeting. Good host, according to my surveillance footage. The closed floor of the Luhu base is a mixed structure of steel plates and concrete. The thickness of the steel plate is about 50 centimeters. The concrete on the surface is 5 meters thick. The ground-penetrating missile in our base area uses a tungsten alloy high-temperature resistant outer wall for the warhead shell, with a landing speed of Mach 5. It is expected to drill open and close the floor in 8 seconds. 5 under the closed floor is a huge vertical lift platform. I even suspect that this lifting platform runs through the entire base and reaches the bottom, so the ground-penetrating missile cannot fall on the bottom of the base and explode, because our purpose is to throw more zombies in, so the key is to blast the entrance to the greatest extent possible, so the detonating fuse is best set 11 seconds after the warhead has landed, counting from time. It happens to be drilled to open the closed floor, and the warhead falls into the base at a height of 30 meters. Which is the best height to blast the entrance of the base. The knowledge of the Red Queen who has risen to level 6 is more comprehensive, even comparable to an encyclopedia, and the data that can be analyzed is also more, and the tactical guidance given is more perfect. Okay, that's it. First let the soldiers rest for 5 days, and after everyone's emotions are stable, they will be sent out to find the intake and exhaust channels of the Luhu Base 35. As long as we find it, we can blow up the base. By the way, Kexin, let Wu Daking lead people tomorrow to collect and pile up the corpses of zombies 40 kilometers away, then Xiaoran, Qianun, Kishu. Go with me and put them away in the space warehouse. These are all chemical weapons. Moreover, with so many corpses outside, the stench of decay drifted into the base, making it impossible to live in the future. Must be cleaned up. It's just a pity that there are 200,000 zombies outside the base. If you come up with this plan sooner, no need to be burned, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, the wheat is about to mature, and the workers in the base area are fine for the time being. And they just pull out to carry the corpse. Xiao Yu's construction of docks and collection of building materials can be delayed for a while. Destroying the Luhu base is the top priority at this time. Xiao Yu thought of one thing. There are still 30 level 2 experience orbs that have not been used, and there are also many level 1 experience orbs, except for the remaining 220 before. Later in the base area on the battlefield another 230 were swept away, for a total of 450 level 1 experience orbs, but it's useless after level 3 skills. You need to use level 2 experience balls to level up, and BHCD, and there are still a lot of them. You need 20 for level 4 skills, and 100 for level 5 skills. This span is huge. It is staggering. However, Xiao Yu did not recover the level 1 experience orb. Maybe there will be new players in the future. You can keep it for them to upgrade. Xiao Yu pondered for a while and decided to upgrade the minion mark to level 4 first. Thus not only the number of followers can be increased by 200 people, you can also grant an attribute to a follower with 20 level 2 experience orbs. Crushed, the mysterious energy breaks through the skill limiting. Your skill follower mark has been raised to level 4, the number of followers has increased to 800, and all the attributes of all followers have been increased by 4 times, and all followers can be granted 4 team attributes. In fact, with a skill upgrade the full attributes of the followers have been increased to 5 times, because after the attribute mark is raised to level 3, the increase of all attributes plus 1 is unlocked. In addition, all followers currently have 6 team attributes. 3 of these attributes are bestowed by the mark of the servant. Xiao Yu first brought Zhang Yan and Liu Ying, the 2 military flowers, into the entourage team, which was decided before. Then it is to give all followers, and then give a team attribute. At present, the attributes of the garrison are 2x shooting talent, storage warehouse, hardening, martial arts transformation, genetic enhancement, and 5x recovery. The attributes of the mobile unit are god level driving specialization, hardening, double shooting talent, martial arts transformation, genetic enhancement, storage warehouse. Xiao Yu thought about it for a while, decided to give Yikimen super serum to everyone. Thus everyone will have 20 times the self-healing ability, because the mobile troops and the garrison all wear combat uniforms. Although they have certain protection capabilities, they are not enough to withstand firearms. Even hardened can withstand a fatal attack, but in case of continuous shooting, you will still be injured. 20 times the self-healing ability can make them recover quickly after injury. Kexin, you will help me choose 198 followers tonight. Tomorrow I will be included in the follower team 35. Correct. There are also 65 chip bosses in captivity at the foot of the mountain. It's time for Anna's lucky poker to come in handy. 100% lucky chips can be dropped. After picking up, the quality of the props will increase by 1 level, and the cooldown time will be as long as 12 hours. No time to waste. Anna, come to the mountain with me. The others will be dismissed and rest instead. It's really okay to play mahjong and relax. Xiao Yu took Anna to the foot of the mountain. When the survivors in the base area saw Xiao Yu, they were all crazy, even more crazy than seeing a superstar before the end of the world. Too bad the phone is out of power, otherwise, you must take a group photo. It was really Xiao Yu's performance last night, so powerful that he was deified among the survivors. Others regarded him as a reincarnation of a god. It was worshipped at home. No wonder these people are superstitious. When human beings can only survive in the cracks, there is a person who can come easily in the corpse tide. Killing zombies is easier than cutting wheat. Such a person is not God. Who else is? The more in the dark times, the more people need faith in their hearts. Xiao Yu is the belief of all survivors. Before the iron cage where the chip monster was held, 20 soldiers in chainmail were guarding. Report leader, I have something to report. Xiao Yu nodded. You said, the leader, this rickety monster, with his sharp fingers, has been cutting the iron cage with his fingers. Although he hasn't cut it, I still recommend sawing their nails. 39 Is there something about it? Xiao Yu went to check in front of the iron cage, and sure enough, there were many cuts on the iron fence with a thick wrist. Do you still want to escape from prison? Fortunately, the iron fence is thick enough. Moreover, it was made by a magic-modified machine tool, and the quality is unremarkable. If it was replaced with ordinary steel bars, it might be cut open. Xiao Yu immediately released the T-virus control skill. Take control of all chip monsters in the cage. Okay, now open the iron cage. 35 The rickety monster has only one head. Xiao Yu was not in a hurry to kill him, he just kept it for a while, so he had his nails trimmed first so as not to want to jailbreak all day. There is one more chapter, which will be finished at 2 o'clock at the latest, so it will be uploaded at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. 152, Psychological Counseling Dr. Shangwen Kyo, 44. The Rickets are night hunters transformed by the Buffy family. It was originally the biggest threat to Xiao Yu. However, after entering the shielded area of Yizishan, there is no way to contact the Luhu base, and can only rely on the implanted chip memory instructions under the cerebral cortex to perform tasks mechanically. It's just that the Red Queen discovered these chip monsters early. When they attacked Xiao Yu, they were bombarded by machine cannons, and only the one in front of them was still alive. Rare is expensive. Xiao Yu was going to keep this thing for a while, so he took out a purple seedling knife and easily cut off the Dark Knight Hunter's fingers. Then the thought moved. The hunter obediently returned to the iron cage. Then Xiao Yu directed the two blood corpses to come out. Anna, let's deal one lucky poker first to increase the blow rate. 35 Anna nodded. Then a golden poker card condensed between the two fingers. With a flick of the poker, the card hid a blood corpse, and Anna took out a pistol. Hit the blood corpse's head. Boom. The blue quality pistol instantly pierced the head of the blood corpse, but the two were surprised to find out this thing is not dead, and the bullet hole in the forehead. I thought it would heal itself at a speed visible to the naked eye. It was perfect in less than a minute. Xiao Yu and Nano were taken aback, and the soldiers in chainmail beside them also showed a ghostly expression. What the hell is this? You can't kill him with a headshot, and his self-healing ability is stronger than Kimon's super serum attribute. The 20 times self-healing speed of super serum is already exaggerated. Xiao Yu looked at a monster in front of him that looked exactly like a human, but with blood-red eyes and pale face, and was shocked. The self-healing speed of this thing is probably at least 1,000 times that of humans. Otherwise, the bullet hole in the forehead cannot heal so quickly. Too bad it can't speak no IQ either. If I can't ask for valuable information, I can only wait until the Luxalake space is taken over and arrest a few people for interrogation. Anna, try another gun. I can't believe it can't kill you. Anna took out her favorite shotgun, the purple quality, the thick muzzle aimed at the blood corpse's forehead. Pull the trigger. Boom. The dense cannonballs instantly shattered the head of the blood corpse, and it blew up directly, and a headless corpse slowly fell down at the same time. 6 lucky chips dropped. Looks like you have to completely destroy the brain to kill. 35 Xiao Yu took out a purple seedling knife and swiped it casually, and the head of the other bloody corpse rolled down. Also dropped 6 lucky chips. A 100% drop rate increases. Cool. Xiao Yu picked up 12 lucky chips. Most of them turned into bullets. There are only 2 weapons, a blue micro punch, but another weapon made Xiao Yu's eyelids jump. Orange katana. The orange weapon is really dropped, although it is not necessary to drop, but it would be good if it can be dropped. After all, there are still 63 bosses in the cage. The only regret is that this is a samurai sword. Xiao Yu prefers the Miao sword that opens and closes. Played with it in my hand. The blade of the orange samurai sword is sharp, and the blade is burnt with an orange flame burning blade pattern. When it is gently swung, the orange flame drags out a gradual comet tail. Very cool. Holding it in your hand, you can clearly feel the powerful force. Not an exaggeration to say a knife can cut through the tank armor. At this time, Anna looked at Xiao Yu eagerly. The cold weapon she used was the samurai sword. Give it to you. Be obedient in the future, and don't stand on top of me. If it was Tangdao, Xiao Yu would definitely keep himself entertained. I don't like samurai swords a bit. Just leave it to the players. Luhu Underground Base Commander Felix, Dr. Abraham, and the high-level officials of the base all stared at the surveillance screen in the command room. Damn, why did the shielding range of Yizishan suddenly increase? 35. The current shielding range is at least 200 kilometers in diameter. It's almost blocking our base together. Commander Philly looked at the screen in disbelief. Above was the aerial view map. The area shielded by the mountain on the map was only 50 kilometers away. The area shown on the map, it's the size of a fingernail. Now it is almost the size of a fist, and it is only a little short of it to include the base. It's worth it if the base is included in the shielded area. It means that the entire base will lose the satellite signal. Commander Philly broke out in a cold sweat. The most hateful thing is that there is no news at all about the 200,000 zombies sent to attack Yizishan. Lord Commander, what should we do? Obviously, Yizishan has not been captured, because their shielding range is larger, indicating that the shielding technology has been upgraded. It also means that they are alive and the zombies are dead. It's hard to imagine that even 200,000 zombies can't be resisted by a single finger mountain. 35. Their walls are actually not high. The corpses of the zombies are easy to pile up, and then the corpse tide can smoothly enter. Where's the problem? Commander Philly stopped. Now is not the time to discuss this. The power of Yizishan has exceeded our imagination. 99. If their shielding technology is upgraded, even our base can't be kept. Without satellite signals, we would be blind. I must consult Mr. Roth Connor, and he will decide. Don't be nervous, we are hiding underground, and Yizishan will never find it. Now that it's dark, send the Super Corpse King immediately. We want to control the ancient capital military area, and the heavy weapons there must not fall into the hands of heretics, especially those tanks. We're going to drive it all back. It really doesn't work. Just use an army of tanks to attack Yizishan. Even if our base is exposed, it will be at all costs. 9. In fact, tanks are not classified weapons. The lock hatch can be opened with just one arc wrench. Then go inside. The person who can start the electronic ignition and can drive the crawler excavator can drive away. After all, no one dared to fight the main tank before the end of the world. Therefore, the design is very convenient for battlefield operation, extremely convenient and simple. Of course, the fire control system is a bit more complicated. With the strength of Luke's Lake's base still manageable. After the meeting, Philip immediately connected to the video call at the headquarters, and it didn't take long for Roth Connor to appear on the video. Philly reported all the situation here and said his plan. The only way at present is to get the tanks of the ancient capital military region, then risk exposure. Let the soldiers of the base attack Yizishan with tanks. Roth Connor thought for a long time, and finally nodded in agreement. But there was nothing he could do if he disagreed, because the shield of One Finger Mountain continues to spread. Luke's Lake's base is finished. Your Excellency Commander, the heavy weapons of the ancient capital military region, you must hurry up. Besides, you also have to send some heretics to Yizishan to find out what their current situation is. 5. 4 flowers. There is a military proverb in the country of the East, know thyself, ever victorious. After the call, Roth Connor sat on the sofa and pondered for a long time. He was very disturbed. The development of Yizishan has exceeded expectations. He can almost be sure that the base area must be related to the Ministry of War, otherwise there will be no rockets. It will not shield the signal in a large area since the Ministry of Defense of the East is involved. The Luhu base risking exposure to make a desperate fight is probably in vain. He had to call a hexagonal meeting soon. All the people from the 5 major families were present, and Roth Connor did not have the time to say the opening remarks, so straight to the point. Everyone, there is very bad news. I hope you will be mentally prepared. The plan of the corpse tide to besiege Yizishan failed. 600,000 zombies died. Yizishan is bigger than before. We have to consider using Black Strike now. 5. As long as a black weapon is thrown into the ancient capital, the entire ancient capital, including the surrounding area, will be destroyed. One Finger Mountain will cease to exist. The people of the 5 major families were suddenly stunned. Mr. Roth Connor, are you confused? Let alone black weapons, we don't even have missiles. We surely have been working on viruses and genes. Even the armed helicopters in each base were purchased before the end of the world, and we cannot manufacture them. Mr. Ross is crazy. Roth Connor smiled confidently. Guys, I'm not crazy. 35. We do not have black weapons, but there are so many black bases in the world. As long as we use satellite monitoring to find them, I'm referring to finding the black base survivors. As long as there is a survivor of the base who knows the command to fire, we can use the chip implant to control that person, then complete the black weapon launch. Everyone, let's work together to find a nuclear base with survivors, then find out who knows the firing order. There is no way for Roth Connor. If it is just a missile launch command, it may be much easier. How secret a black weapon launch order is to find survivors from many bases, and to know the launch order. The difficulty increases exponentially, but he firmly believes that there must be such a person. One refers to the mountain base. The Red Queen suddenly appeared in front of Xiao Yu. Master, there is movement at the Luhu base, and 10 helicopters have flown to the ancient capital military region. talking room after the Red Queen released the surveillance screen. It didn't take long for 15 zombies to be released from the helicopter. Xiao Yu realized immediately this is the Corpse King. What are they going to do to take the military area? By the way, it must be for those weapons made. Xiao Yu has been thinking about these weapons for a long time, but he has been very busy recently and has no time to get them, especially tanks, armored vehicles, missile launch vehicles will definitely get it back. The Red Queen, lock these 15 zombies, and I will go and catch them at dawn tomorrow. The other side, more than a dozen soldiers hide under the shelter of the ancient capital military region. Among them is a beautiful soldier with shoulder-length short hair and unparalleled temperament. Her name is Shangwen Kaiokio. He is a psychiatrist in the military region, specializing in self-healing counseling for soldiers who have psychological trauma syndrome after performing special tasks. Shangwen Kaiokio and a group of comrades have been trapped in the shelter for 2 months because there are more comrades in arms outside the sanctuary. They have not left for 2 months. This chapter was yesterday, and it is still 12,000 today, again. 153, Monk Makeup Moon. Beauty Dr. Qin Menglu. Shangwen Kaiokio, 1/4. Shangwen Kaiokio came to the monitoring room of the underground shelter since the entire military region has backup power supplies. Even if the power goes out for more than a month, some important facilities are still in operation, including monitoring equipment. The person in charge of guarding the monitoring room today is the signal soldier Xiao Yu, a soldier in his early 20s with a childish look on his face. Sister Kaiokio, you are here? Yeah, let me see if the zombies outside have left. Xiao Yu shook his head helplessly, then switched to the monitoring of the shelter's gate. Look, they have been blocked outside, and there are more than yesterday. 5 on the monitoring screen. There are about 1,000 zombies, all of which are blocked outside the shelter. It's a pity that we can't go out, otherwise we will use the satellite communication of the military region to contact the Yizishan side, and maybe they will come to rescue us. It's better to divert the zombies outside. There were only a dozen soldiers in the shelter, many of whom were not combatants, although everyone has guns. But once you open the door and face thousands of zombies, you will be killing yourself. Call out the surveillance at the back door and have a look. Okay, Miss Kaiokio. Shangwen Kaiokio still has quite a status in everyone's mind. And everyone has been hiding in the dark underground shelter for more than 2 months and also faced losing contact with superiors in the past. When the internet was still there, you could also watch the short video of 297 to understand the situation in the outside world. Now I can only listen to the radio every day. There are fewer and fewer channels that can be received, especially the latest news from Yizishan, saying that the doomsday is artificially initiated. The purpose is to destroy all mankind. The soldiers in the shelter gradually began to become decadent and depressed. Fortunately, Shangwen Kaiokio is a psychological counselor in the military region. She often guides everyone, so that more than a dozen soldiers can maintain a positive and optimistic attitude in the dark underground shelter. Soon the monitoring of the back door was called out. There are also hundreds of zombies stuck here. Hey, their noses are so sensitive. Our shelter is closed. Can they all smell us? Xiao Yu said helplessly. Although Yizishan announced many ways to avoid zombies, but the people in the shelter couldn't use any of them. Smear your whole body with zombie blood. There's not a single zombie here. If you open the door to catch zombies, I am afraid that hundreds of zombies will rush in. As for masking the smell with perfume or toilet water, there was only food, drinking water and military supplies in the shelter, but no perfume or toilet water. In the end there was only smoke left, not to mention whether you can find wet branches. Even if there are, they will smoke themselves after they are lit, and the zombies outside can't smell the smoke at all at this time. Xiao Yu suddenly said, Sister Kaiokio, look. Following the direction of Xiao Yu's finger, Shangwen Kaiokio saw that a helicopter formation appeared over the military area. Although it was dark at night, however, the street lights in the military area were still bright. And it was clear that there were indeed helicopters in the sky. Are you here to save us? Just then, ropes were released from the helicopter. Then someone was released from the helicopter and quickly landed on the rope. There were 15 people in total. The ground is full of zombies. Isn't this a death sentence? But what Shangwen Kaiokio did not expect was that after the 15 figures landed, the nearby zombies did not attack them. What happened? Liu, zoom in on the surveillance screen. As the video got closer, Shangwen Kaiokio could see clearly that the 15 figures were actually zombies. Someone dropped zombies at our military area, and only 15. What does it mean? Hey, come in and have a look. Xiao Yu called in more than a dozen soldiers outside, and everyone looked at the surveillance screen and couldn't figure it out for a while at this time. The 15 zombies gradually left the military area. The crowd was even more confused. Everyone discussed it for a long time, but no conclusion was reached. Time gradually passed. At this time, another situation happened. A lot of zombies suddenly appeared outside the military area, and the number was too numerous to count. 10,000, 20,000, no. More than 100,000. The entire military region was so full that there was no place to stay. How is this going? How come there are so many zombies all of a sudden? It's over. We won't be able to get out now. We'll probably have to stay in a shelter, run out of food and wait to die. Shangwen Kaiokao let out a light breath. She also knew that this was completely over, but she couldn't say what was in her heart, and she had to appease everyone's emotions. She didn't want to spread in the shelter. As a psychiatrist, Shangwen Kaiokao knew very well that over time, even these soldiers, who had been influenced by fiery beliefs, might collapse in their hearts and become thugs. It's not about identity, it is human nature. Good and evil coexist, and the environment can change a person. She must always keep an eye on the psychological changes of the soldiers. If there is a problem, use your professional knowledge to give them psychological counseling in a timely manner. This is to protect yourself as a woman. She is the weaker party here. The next morning on the plain on the outskirts of City L, a team of survivors moved in the direction of Yizi Mountain. The weather is nice today, sunny. The point is that the neighborhood is very safe, and sometimes it takes 10 minutes to walk before encountering a zombie. They were quickly killed by the crowd thanks to the corpse tide crossing the border the day before yesterday. We collected all the nearby zombies, and then went to attack Yizishan. Therefore, there are not many zombies wandering in the wilderness, Sister Monroe, without the threat of zombies. We are on our way at full speed, and maybe we can reach Yizi Mountain at noon. Qin Menglu smiled. Of course, it is best to get to Yizishan as soon as possible. Hiding in the east for so long, finally, I will reach the holy place in my heart. I don't know if the current Yizishan has changed from the past. She saw it on the video more than a month ago. At that time, there were very few armed personnel in Yizishan. There are not many survivors either. It is really hard to imagine how the space area wiped out the corpse tide. Of course, Qin Menglu didn't know that the corpse tide was wiped out by Yizishan. When she was listening to the radio last night, she heard the Red Queen saying that the corpse tide was wiped out. Let the nearby survivors hurry to Yizishan. Qin Menglu looked at her left hand psychologically a little worried. I am a disabled person, and I don't know if Yizishan will accept him. Sister Monroe, don't think too much. You are a doctor, and you are so good at killing zombies. Yizishan will definitely welcome you. If they don't accept you, we'll go with you. Luo, yes, count me in. 9. The three girls who followed Qin Menglu were very grateful for her previous life-saving grace. A girl who only knows what to do in return. This made Qin Menglu very happy. The girls are right. They are doctors. Even if they have one less hand, they are more valuable than ordinary people thought. Here Qin Menglu was relieved. The other side at the end of the ancient capital plain, the mountain range of Qingchang Mountain, Qingchang Taoist temple is half covered by smoke and clouds. Quite the mood of a fairyland on earth. Xiao Yu was dressed in white, holding a sword in her back, looking towards Yizi Mountain. There were bombs during the day before yesterday. At night, the gunshots broke out again, and we fought for a whole night. I don't know what happened to Yizishan. 35. Xiao Yu didn't know that the corpse tide attacked Yizishan. However, she saw a dense rain of rockets and gunfire that kept going all night, which meant that it was a tragic battle. Call, breathe out lightly. Xiao Yu didn't think about these troublesome things. Anyway, the wooden bridge up the mountain was destroyed by herself. Even if there are really zombies breaking into Qingchang Mountain, it is also impossible to come to Qingchang Taoist Temple. She can practice swordsmanship with peace of mind. Makeup month is getting more and more strange. Recently she always felt that this world seemed to be different. Every time she practiced, she could enter the ethereal realm and breathe while meditating as if the pores of the whole body were cheering. There was always a faint energy surrounding the body. She didn't know if it was a hallucination. However, during this period of time, the changes in the body were very clear, and when practicing swords, the faint energy would also appear. Too bad the spectator died. Otherwise, you can ask him. Xiao Yu sighed, and on the top of the mountain shrouded in smoke, she began to wield her sword. In the morning, a finger mountain Wudaking had already taken the workers from the base and drove a mighty motorcade towards the bombing point the day before yesterday. Their task today is to pile up the blasted zombies. This is the biochemical weapon to destroy the Luhu base. Responsible for today's security is the 100 mobile troops led by Bai Kai and Nick. The soldiers were supposed to rest. However, there are still scattered zombies on the plains. Even if the number is small, it is a threat, so 400 motorized units moved in turn morning and afternoon. The 400 people took just 2 days to complete the round. It is estimated that the people Wudaking brought together would be able to pile up the zombies in a concentrated manner. Xiao Yu also has a mission today. Even if he doesn't want to kill zombies, he has to go to the ancient capital military region, at least to get the 15 Corpse Kings back. Queen of the Red, did the Luhu base release the Corpse King again last night? Master, no, it's still 15 after the Red. Release the Monitor 2.3 screen at this time. The entire ancient capital military region was already so densely packed with zombies that there was nowhere to stay. Master, I have already calculated. The 15 Corpse King last night brought 150,000 zombies into the military area. 5 in addition, there are 20,000 zombies in the military region itself. It adds up to 170,000 zombies. Seeing so many zombies, Xiao Yu had the urge to vomit, but he had not yet recovered. But today's purpose is just to capture these 15 Corpse Kings. Just get the Corpse King back. 170,000 zombies will lose their commander. Even people from Luhu base have no way to go in and get those heavy weapons because the ownerless zombies will bite when they meet, and with so many zombies stuck in it, even tanks couldn't get out. Okay, you continue to monitor the ancient capital and Luhu's every move. Also keep an eye on it, including Beishishan Park. Xiao Yu had just descended the mountain, took out a modified chariot, and was about to sit in when Ye Kimin walked over. Captain, can you make me a knife first? 35. My level 3 heavy weapon can now use a 300-pound broadsword, and has 100% control over the weapon. I can use more sophisticated weapons. 1.25, 1/4. 154, the old driver Qimeng is driving. I want to eat alone with the captain. Xiao Yu almost forgot. Ye Kimen's heavy weapons, after reaching level 3, can use heavier weapons. The heavier the weapon, it means the stronger the attack power. There is a fundamental difference between a 2-jin knife and a 20-jin knife when it cuts on people. Moreover, the level 3 heavy weapon also unlocks the spirit of heavy weapon. Control the weapon to 100%. More complex and varied heavy knives can be used, but Xiao Yu has not yet designed which style of knives. Queen Red, you designed a heavy knife for me. The weight is controlled at 300 pounds, and it is required to assemble an extendable type. Good host, it's enough to leave these things to the Red Queen. Xiao Yu doesn't have so much knowledge, and can't design more complicated knives. Alright Kimen, I'll forge it for you when I come back. Now I'm going to the ancient capital. Captain, let me go with you and help you drive. I drive very well and very stable. When Qimeng spoke, there was an aura in her eyes. Of course Xiao Yu could hear her words. Old driver, if you don't eat meat for 3 days, you will be so greedy. Come on, get in the car. You drive. The modified chariot drove away from the base and headed towards the ancient capital, passing the area bombed by rockets on the way. From afar, it looked like a scorched earth. The corpses of the zombies were piled up layer by layer. Crows fell on the corpses to enjoy a feast of gluttonous beasts, and a few vultures flew over from the sky. Wu Deking took a team of excavators and forklifts and began to clean up the bodies on the ground. Others drove muck trucks, pulled the carloads of corpses to the designated location and piled them up. A muck truck passed by. Startling a flock of crows, they land on corpses farther away and continue to eat. After 2 days, the stench of these corpses has become very unpleasant. Fortunately, this place is not part of the ecological transformation area, so maggots and flies don't reproduce as fast. Everyone at the cleanup site was wearing masks and was barely able to work in the chariot. Qimeng had already turned on the air purification. The chariot continued to drive forward, and saw the soldiers of the mobile unit cleaning up scattered zombies nearby. At this time, Bai Qiannian's voice reached Ye Kimen's earphones. Okay, Qimeng, while we are out, will you be alone with the captain and eat alone? Sister Qiannian, I'm sorry. Ye Kimen secretly rejoiced. The joy of eating alone, who knows who eats it, is so beautiful. The magic modified chariot did not arrive at the outskirts of the ancient capital until the afternoon. In fact, the expressway to the ancient capital had already been opened up when Xiao Yu went to the Wen base last time. Normally it takes over an hour. However, the purpose of Qimeng's visit today was not to actually drive, so there was a delay of more than 4 hours on the way. Captain, the Gudu military region is in front of you. Do you park? Stop at 55 after the red. Call up the satellite monitoring map for me, and mark the 15 targets that were locked last night. Good master. The other side. Xiao Yu's chariot also appeared in the screen of the monitoring room of the Luhu underground base. Your Excellency Commander, please come to the monitoring room immediately soon. Commander Felix came to the monitoring room. Look, this is a chariot from Yizishan. It appeared outside the ancient capital military area. What are you planning to do? Look at the familiar chariot in the picture. Felix couldn't help but get nervous. I don't know why, but now as long as he sees the person in Yizishan, He feels very uneasy, always feel bad, especially last night. Only put 15 corpse kings into the ancient capital military region. The plan is to bring the soldiers from the base tonight to drive back the tanks in the ancient capital. At this juncture, people from Yizishan came to the ancient capital military region, and it was inevitable that people would be inexplicably worried. At this time, the door of the chariot opened. The flying man got out of the car. There were only a few scattered zombies wandering in the street outside. Because the zombie king had already brought all the zombies into the military area last night, so it's safe outside. The man who could fly slashed the zombies that came up with 2 knives, and then, like a conjuration, with a wave of his hand, a large iron cage was formed, and then he flew into the military area and landed in the middle of a group of zombies. The weird thing is the zombies nearby did not bite him, but stopped the zombies that were trying to pounce on him. The man caught a zombie, then he flew up and swept over the corpse tide, and a few dragonflies broke away from the hatred of the corpse tide and then fell in front of the chariot. Opened the iron cage, put the captured zombies in. Commander Philly couldn't understand. What is this guy doing to catch zombies? Even if he catches them and studies them, is it necessary to go to the ancient capital to catch them? Although the zombies near Yizishan were almost eliminated, but there are definitely some scattered ones. Strange, aren't the zombies in the ancient capital different? At this moment, an inspector reported, "Your Excellency, Commander, something is wrong. The man just caught a corpse king." I depend. Fei Li was shaking all over among the hundreds of thousands of zombies. The corpse king can be easily identified and captured. Is it luck, or is it really able to identify the corpse king? At this time, the man flew into the corpse tide again, grabbed a zombie and brought it back into custody. What about this zombie? The report is also a corpse king, all of which are super corpse kings with chips implanted by us. The inspectors were speechless. Commander Philly was furious. Damn. How did he do it? The appearance of the corpse king is no different from that of ordinary zombies. He could recognize it at a glance. Dr. Abraham, come in soon. Dr. Biochemistry, wearing glasses with the bottom of this soy sauce bottle, walked into the monitoring room. Doctor, Super Corpse King has always been developed by your team. You should know better than anyone how to identify the Super Corpse King. The doctor pushed up his glasses after thinking for a moment. He said, impossible. The electromagnetic wave received by the supermarket Corpse King's chip is a biological low-frequency signal source, biotechnology that is unique to our Shire people. Even the military ministries of various countries before the apocalypse could not detect the existence of the brain chip. That's weird. Commander Philly paced back and forth in the monitoring room, and after this delay, 2 more Super Corpse Kings were arrested. Look for yourself. As soon as someone catches one, it's obvious that he knows who the Super Corpse King is. Dr. Abraham moved closer to the surveillance screen. I saw 4 zombies locked in an iron cage. Then look at the biological signal detection equipment, and it shows the official Super Corpse King developed by yourself. Hiss. Abraham sucked in a breath. He pondered for a long time, and suddenly his eyelids jumped. Your Excellency, Commander, I have a bad guess. 50. My God. Hope it's not true. 55. Commander Philly glared at the doctor. Speak quickly. Don't give a shit. 99. Abraham swallowed his saliva and calmed down his panic. Oh, Your Excellency, Commander, I suspect that Yizishan not only has the ability to detect and monitor satellites, also mastered synthetic aperture radar reconnaissance, and the resolution is very high, even surpassing the nighttime detection capabilities of military ministries around the world before the full outbreak of the T-virus. So our actions last night were exposed. They locked 15 Corpse Kings in advance so that they could catch one. This is impossible, totally impossible. Doctor, are you saying that after the apocalypse of Yizishan, the satellite monitoring technology has broken through to an even greater extent than before the end of the world? Do you think it's believable? You said it yourself. The brain chip of the Super Corpse King receives a biological low-frequency signal source, which is a unique technology of the Zile people. Even if Yizishan's satellite monitoring capabilities are very strong, how did they lock the Super Corpse King? Dr. Abraham couldn't figure this out either. In theory, the Super Corpse King cannot be locked and tracked, and the biological low-frequency signal sources, to put it bluntly, biological stealth technology, not stealth in the naked eye sense. It is the stealth of shielding the signal. After the corpse tide entered within 50 kilometers of Yizi Mountain the day before yesterday, the Corpse King's signal was blocked, which can also be understood as being blocked by both sides. That is to say, one finger mountain blocked the Corpse King's brain signal. The Corpse King can also escape the signal detection of Yizishan. Everyone was in the dark, and no one knew who. Now it seems that this is not the case at all. If Yuzhishin can destroy this wave of corpses, it is likely to find the Corpse King at the first time, then kill it. The corpse tide lost its commander, and the threat level was greatly reduced. 297. Oh headache, is Yuzhishin using satellite monitoring to lock the Corpse King in advance, or is there other means to detect the existence of the Corpse King? If it's a satellite surveillance lock, that's a big problem. The commander didn't say anything after that, but everyone in the monitoring room understood what it meant. The Super Corpse Kings are all released at night. If Yuzhishin can be locked in advance, it means that they have at least mastered the nighttime detection ability. So the Luke's Lake base was also exposed. No, I have to report this news to Headquarters 99. The other side, in the ancient capital military region, Xiao Yu has already captured 10 Super Corpse Kings, all locked in a big iron cage. Xiao Yu used his virus control skills to keep the Corpse King in absolute silence and stay in the cage obediently. He continued to catch the remaining 5 Corpse Kings, and as seen, Shangwen Kaiokio and others, who were hiding in the underground shelter, witnessed the whole process. More than a dozen soldiers, all guarded in front of the surveillance. Is it true? He can fly. How can there be someone who can fly? This is not a martial arts drama. 35. Why does he keep catching zombies? And it seems to have a purpose, and he specially selects specific zombies from the group of corpses. 5. What is his purpose? If he can find us, he can use his flying ability to divert the zombies outside. Yeah, and he can fly with zombies and fly with us. 39. It's time to save us. Everyone saw hope, and their expressions became extremely excited. Just how to notify this person? Open the door and call for help. It definitely won't work. The zombies will swarm, and by then shit to make sound. Neither the dense crowd of zombies outside is too noisy, let alone shooting, even if the sound is on. You may not be able to hear it. Shangwen Kaiokio suddenly lit up. Liu, turn the camera. 99. As long as the camera is turned, it can attract the attention of the other party and let him know that there are survivors in the military area. 12,000 today. 2/4. 155. Scare Dezile people to shrink. Combination of 60 swords. 3/4. At this time, Xiao Yu was performing light work, flying away from the endless corpse tide in the military area. He fell again and grabbed a Corpse King. While flying back, I accidentally saw a camera moving. Xiao Yu immediately understood there should be survivors in the military region, just like the last time at Wen Base. Zhao Shan, who was hiding in the command room, as well as Zhang Yan and Liu Ying, observed themselves through the monitoring perspective. The camera was moving at that time. Xiao Yu ignored it for the time being. First, catch the Corpse King out, put it in a cage, and take out A4 paper and a pen from the space warehouse. Then write a few large letters. I've been numb from killing zombies. I'll take a rest for 5 days and come back to save you. Then Xiao Yu flew in front of the camera floating in the air. Hold up the A4 paper to let the people inside see what's on the paper. Floating in the air is the basic ability of level 3 Kigen Kinkwang, but the consumption of gas is slightly larger. After staying in front of the camera for a few seconds, Xiao Yu turned around and flew away, continuing to catch the Corpse King. Soon the last few Corpse Kings were put into cages. Xiao Yu used the T-virus control skill to make the Corpse King obediently walk into the magic chariot. Qi Meng, let's drive. As for the people in the military region, they can only wait a few days to save them. Xiao Yu really didn't want to kill zombies these days, and he was worried that if he kept killing, he would suffer from post-war trauma syndrome. It would be troublesome. Then it's just a mild traumatic syndrome at the moment. Take a break and you can recover. Once you continue to kill after the symptoms aggravate, it is possible to become a disease without a professional psychological counseling doctor, which cannot be cured. 3. Now this world, if you want to find a psychiatrist, you have to try your luck. And even if you find a treatment, it will take a long time. Qi Meng was driving, with 15 Corpse Kings sitting obediently behind, but she wasn't afraid at all. T-virus control is her skill, and the effect of the skill is very clear. It is impossible for the Corpse King to get out of control and bite her and Xiao Yu. It just stinks. The carriage is already small, and the rotten smell of zombies is 10 times worse than the body odor of foreigners. Qi Meng opened all the windows after the air circulates. It will be a little better. As Xiao Yu left, Shangwen Kaiokio and others were still in a daze before the surveillance. He said he would come and save us in 5 days. It should be true, right? I think it's true that if he doesn't want to save us, there's no need to fly back and write on a paper. 99. What kind of avatar is this man? He actually said that he was numb from killing zombies, so he had to rest for 5 days to recover. 39. Oh my god, how many zombies are killed in the end? It will cause a person to be numb and need to rest and recuperate. I think at least 100 of them were killed. More than that, he can fly, and he can easily catch zombies alive. I think he should kill 1,035. 1,000 is too much, 5 or 600 may be more reasonable. I don't know how he will save us when the time comes. There are so many zombies outside. People started to worry again. In fact, Xiao Yu was not in a hurry to save people. Another point was that there were too many zombies and he didn't know where he was hiding. The only way is to draw away the zombies in the military area, and then kill the scattered ones. This is very time consuming at present. The base of the two behind the scenes actors has not been unplugged, and he has to focus on this aspect. The other side, West Continent, Ross family underground base, hexagonal conference room. Risk Connor held another meeting. All the people from the 5 families are here. Everyone, I won't say anything first, just watch a surveillance video. Roth Connor pressed the remote button next to him on the projected video. His avatar was reduced, and the screen switched to surveillance screen just in time for Xiao Yu's video of catching the Corpse King alive in the tide of hundreds of thousands of corpses. Xiao Yu came and went like the wind without a trace, and what was even more strange was that when he fell into the tide of corpses, he could easily capture any zombie alive. Everyone smacked their tongues secretly for a while. Although they couldn't name Xiao Yu, they were all too familiar with his figure. It's him again. This man really didn't die. The tide of 200,000 corpses couldn't kill him. What are you trying to do with these zombies alive now, Mr. Roth Connor? Have you discovered a secret that this heretic is also developing bio-warriors? It shouldn't be possible. We Zilay people can transform biochemical warriors because we have accumulated scientific research experience for hundreds of years. These heretics simply don't have that kind of strength. The meeting room is very noisy. Everyone, you speak my word. Ross Connor signaled everyone to be quiet, and then said, this man has caught 15 zombies, all of which are the Corpse Kings put in by my Ross family Luhu base. You heard right. He can accurately find the Corpse King in the tide of hundreds of thousands of corpses, and capture it alive. 35. The most important is, only 15 Corpse Kings were put in last night. And he just found them all. What does this mean? I believe you know better than me that the Corpse King's brain chip and satellite technology cannot be locked. The only explanation is that Yizishan mastered the more sophisticated synthetic aperture radar technology, and the technology of the military ministries of various countries is more powerful than before the outbreak of the T-virus. 35. Roth Connor's words are like a blockbuster. The meeting room fell into silence. Everyone opened their mouths or looked confused, because they all knew in their hearts that this meant that the Luhu base was exposed. If so, they are also very likely to be exposed. Everyone, in the future, our helicopters, try not to go out again. We can't send helicopters out on a large scale, even at night, at least until we find a better solution, because it may be discovered by Yizishan. At present, we are not sure how wide the surveillance scope of Yizishan is, but I speculate that the western and northern continents are safe for the time being, so the focus is on our base in the Eastern Kingdom. Don't act rashly for now. The 5 families sighed helplessly. That's all there is to it for now. Suspend all activities in the various bases of the Eastern Kingdom before dark. Xiao Yu and Qi Meng returned to the base, and first put the 15 Corpse Kings in a cage. Currently, there are 40 Super Corpse Kings, 38 Blood Corpses, and 1 Night Hunter and the captive boss. Of course, Xiao Yu only knew the name of the Corpse King, and he still guessed it as for the Blood Corpse and the Night Hunter. He didn't know the names, but based on his appearance, he named the Blood Corpse the Red-Eyed Monster, and the Night Hunter was called a Ricket Monster. Anna, come down the mountain. Lucky Poker's skill refresh is long overdue. Soon Anna came to the place where the boss was imprisoned at the foot of the mountain, and as soon as she saw Qi Meng, she joked, Qi Meng, are you full today by eating alone? Hehe. 35. Qi Meng smiled but said nothing. They were all experienced drivers, so of course they understood what Anna was talking about. Xiao Yu pretended to be stupid, opened the cage on his own, and controlled the 2 Super Corpse Kings to come out. The Blood Corpse that was killed yesterday today, killing the Corpse King, eating for a change of taste, and killing the boss can't catch one kind of killing. Anna, you come first. Anna nodded, condensed a lucky card, and threw it onto the Super Corpse King. Then, hesitantly, he took out the orange samurai sword that Xiao Yu had given him yesterday. He also deliberately shook it and came in reluctantly. Only then did he chop off the head of the Corpse King, and 6 lucky chips fell out. Qi Meng was very envious when she saw the orange weapon, but unfortunately, the heavy knife she used was 100 jin, and it was impossible to melt and cast with so many high-quality weapons destined to use only white-powered weapons. Although the cutting ability is not as good as the orange weapon, but depending on the weight of the weapon, the attack power is not bad at all. At this time, the Red Queen appeared in front of Xiao Yu. Master, the heavy knife you requested today is ready. Do you want to take a look now? Look at it. Red Queen, Let me take a look. Xiao Yu didn't answer, but Qimeng shouted first because of the newly designed heavy knife. She will also use it, and women are very curious about the unknown. Xiao Yu threw out a lucky card and kill the other corpse king, pick up 12 lucky chips, and then say, the Red Queen, put out the blueprint and have a look. Good. Master, a 3D stereoscopic projection screen appeared in front of everyone except for the drones. There is also a 3D modeling diagram of the heavy knife, which clearly shows the entire structural components of the heavy knife. It also simulates how to use it. The shape is still the 60 swords, and the structure is combined, consisting of 2 heavy knives, Liang Bing long knives, and 2 short knives. Heavy knives are divided into main knives and auxiliary knives. The main knife is retractable. The 2-meter blade can be extended to 4 meters in length once it can be perfectly controlled. The cool and powerful combination skills will be dazzling to use, and it will enter the realm of man and knife, and its power is unparalleled. Wow. So handsome. Qimeng's eyes are full of stars at this time. I felt that Anna's orange samurai sword was no longer fragrant. Although the 6-style broadsword required 300 kilograms of materials, it is destined to be cast only with white-bowed weapons, but its so cool beauty is justice. Xiao Yu was also very satisfied, so he hurried back to the top of the mountain with the 2 of them and took the time to study the blueprints. But before that, let's take a look at what the 2 corpse kings exploded. Gold bars, bullets, and ordinary weapons are not to be mentioned, and the rest also exploded. 2 level 2 experience balls and a level 2 Red Queen host. There is also a purple anti-equipment sniper, no explosive orange gear. It seems that even if the luck and explosion rate are improved, the orange weapon is not 100%. No wonder, but a magic knife that splits the armor of a tank with 1 knife is not so explosive. Purple anti-equipment heavy snipers have it. Give this one to Guo Xiaoxio. Xiao Yu began to study the drawing of the combination of the 6-style broadsword, and the Red Queen explained it on the side, so he understood it quickly. Eaten in half an hour. Next, he summoned the magic modified machine to start making weapons. Xiao Yu came to the garden and summoned a level 2 machine. It is enough to make a weapon. Level 2 machine. The level 3 machine tool is a behemoth that can be modified to an aircraft carrier. If summoned, it will directly crush the construction slaves on the top of the mountain. Summon with a level 2 machine. Xiao Yu threw the 100-pound 6-style broadsword into the hatch, and then put more than 50 white-bowed cold weapons. Clang. The hatch closed, and countless precision parts on the machine began to turn. After about 10 minutes, the green light on the machine tool went cold, and the hatch opened slowly. There is one more chapter. Finish at 2 o'clock, upload at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. This chapter contains pictures. Click the illustration button in the lower right corner of the screen to view the pictures. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. 156, exhausted, can't stand it anymore, stop, 4/4. As the door of the machine tool slowly opened, the 6-style combined broadsword weighing 300 pounds, exuding an aura of destruction, was transported out. Xiao Yu held it in his hand with his current strength. Even without the skill of heavy weapon, 300 pounds is very light in his hand, but the thick texture is still very clear. Moreover, the realm of the unity of man and knife, and the 100% sense of control over heavy weapons, cannot be replaced by other light weapons. Captain, I want it too. I want it too. Qimeng urged impatiently. The anxious look was even worse than in the afternoon. Xiao Yu threw her original heavy knife and more than 50 ordinary weapons into the hatch of the machine tool. 10 minutes later, another 60 combination broadsword was born. Come on, let's try the new knife combo. Xiao Yu was eager to try it. Qimeng gave Xiao Yu an angry look. You are so strong. Even if we both enter the realm of man and knife, I will be slashed by you with 1 knife. There are currently 13 players in the team. Xiao Yu's full attribute increase reached 26 times, and Qimeng's dynamic fitness increased by 50%, which is equivalent to 39 times the full attribute increase. 1 punch can knock out 20,000 pounds of power. Don't say go all out. Even if Qimeng blocked it with a slash, he would be slashed. Don't worry, I will suppress my power. 313. 5. Xiao Yu just wanted to see what kind of strength he could show after he and the spirit of heavy weapons had 100% control over the weapon. Then we agreed. You are not allowed to use all your strength, you have to be gentle. I am afraid of pain. Come on, the old driver is here again. It has to be lighter this time, and it has to be heavier later. Qimeng. I'm here. 35. After Xiao Yu finished speaking, He controlled his strength and speed and slashed at Qimeng. Qimeng raised a knife to block the two 300-pound knives collided, causing sparks to splash. With a low voice, Qimeng's six-style broadsword disintegrated instantly, and two long knives ejected from the blade and stabbed Xiao Yu. This is the 100% control ability of Spirit of Heavy Weapons on heavy swords. The knife holder and every part of the knife body have absolute control and communication ability so that each combined blade can be used as an arm, extremely flexible. Xiao Yu immediately swung the knife to block and retreat at the same time. Qimeng's offensive continued unabated, and the dismantled combined knife stabbed forward, and the blade immediately extended, like a long spear stabbing Xiao Yu. When Xiao Yu used the broad blade as a shield to block Qimeng's forward stab, and at the same time moved his mind, the Spirit of Heavy Weapon triggers the auxiliary knife of the six-style combined broadsword, as well as the two long knives and the two short knives, were all disassembled automatically, and attacked Qimeng from the front, rear, left, right, and top, respectively. This trick can be called Fairy Scatter, although it is not as domineering as Han Kexin's knife key vertical and horizontal. It is more flexible and changeable. Qimeng's eyes turned cold. The auxiliary blade of the blade and the two short blades were ejected together, blocking Xiao Yu's fairy flowers. At this time, Xiao Yu also stabbed forward. The blade extended to 4 meters, stabbing Qimeng's body. Xiao Yu is not worried either anyway. With a hardening attribute, it can block a fatal attack, even if Qimeng is stabbed. It will be fine. Moreover, he suppressed his own strength. Both of them are in the dual realm of the unity of man and knife, and the Spirit of Heavy Weapons. At this time, Qimeng's thoughts moved. The auxiliary knives, two long knives, and two short knives scattered around quickly returned to the blade, instantly assembled into a complete six-style broadsword. The broad and thick blade became a shield, immediately blocking Xiao Yu's front stab. At this time, the fight between the two attracted everyone. A group of team members, guards, cleaning, kitchen, all ran out to watch the fun. The fight between Xiao Yu and Qimeng. It looks better than the sci-fi blockbuster plus martial arts blockbuster before the end of the world. Exaggerated heavy sword, the cool and dizzying variety of combination skills, the main knife, the auxiliary knife, the long knife, and the short knife, are used to the peak. Every move is infinite murder. Every move is the ultimate defense. The two of you went back and forth, and they fought for an hour without a winner, but Qimeng's stamina couldn't keep up. Captain, I can't take it anymore. Stop, come on. Even calling a stop to drive is too much? Xiao Yu took a sip of Qimeng's milk and instantly lifted her spirits. If you don't fight, you won't fight. Anyway, you are already familiar with the magic of the Spirit of Heavy Weapons and the combined sword. We don't have to fight anymore. Just now Xiao Yu didn't feel like he was playing, and he didn't even get the warm-up effect after all. It suppressed 2/3 of the strength and speed. There really isn't a fight, but the harvest is indeed not small. Qimeng's skills are very powerful. Xiao Yu has decided, if there is another opportunity for group sharing, be sure to share Qimeng's level 3 heavy weapons with everyone. Okay, let's go eat. By the way, report on today's work. After the red, you continue to monitor the Luhu base and the Beishishan Park base to see if the maggots in the dark have special actions, especially the Luxa Lakes base. 15 Corpse Kings were airdropped last night, and they controlled 150,000 zombies to the military area. The purpose is to occupy the place. Even the idea of tanks, missiles. However, as long as the people at Luhu base are not stupid, they will not go there again tonight. Xiao Yu believes that the action of catching the Corpse King alive today must have been seen by the other party. It can accurately capture the Corpse King in the tide of hundreds of thousands of corpses. It's no use putting in more after dinner. Han Kexin reported to work, and today more than 500 people were admitted, bringing the total population of the base to 5,300, and select 50 people who can sail from the base area. It was then allocated to Anna to form a navy, at least not let her become a bear commander, although it is a bit funny. So many people have formed a navy, but everyone firmly believes that there will be warships to conquer the sea in the future, except these 50 will sail. Xiao Yu allocated another 450 people to Anna to become water warriors. Xiao Yu endowed them all with shooting talent plus lucky chips plus martial arts transformation to become all-round fighters in ranged and melee combat. After all, fighting on water, although most of the time, they rely on guns to shoot, but they also have to climb up the ship with zombies on the embankment surface. Water warriors cannot wear chainmail. This is a big no-no. Once the zombies enter the cabin, they must be solved by melee combat, so they must be fully developed. Han Kexin also focused on a female doctor. It's called Qin Mengla, formerly the chief surgeon of the 3rd People's Hospital of Y City. He was assigned to the base medical office as the section chief. In fact, With the ecological transformation of the base area coupled with the unlocking of full of vitality, everyone's body is full of vitality, and many diseases before the end of the world have disappeared. Usually it's a surgical injury in particular. Many people have never done farm work in construction sites, and are often injured. There is a need for such skilled surgeons. By the way, this Dr. Qin is also very beautiful, but he is disabled. Otherwise he might be able to join our team. Disabled? How can a disabled person become a doctor? Xiao Yu was a little disbelieving. If it weren't for Han Kexin's spiritual charm and the mind detection unlocked by the level 3 skill, he would have suspected that the doctor was impersonating. Captain, she was not disabled before, it's just that when he was fleeing, his palm was bitten by a zombie. Dr. Qin was also a ruthless man. He even chopped off his palm with an axe, which saved his life. Xiao Yu couldn't help but nodded. A cruel man indeed, but then again, surgeons are not ruthless, not harsh words. Whoever dares to use a knife on a living person often opens his stomach. Of course, the ruthlessness of the doctor, in exchange for the life of others, is also very admirable. Xiao Yu decided to meet this Dr. Qin anyway. There is nothing to do at night, just go to the survivors' residential area to inspect. Xiao Yu hugged Han Kexin and flew down the mountain. The residential area is illuminated by solar street lights, and you can smell the special smell of wheat that is about to ripen from a distance. Should be in these days the first crop of wheat is ready to be harvested. Let's go, Captain, I'll take you to find her. The other side, Qin Menglu was sitting in the yard of the infirmary, and there were 3 girls beside her, who were now studying nurses in the infirmary. They were not eligible because I don't know anything about nursing. However, Qin Menglu was assigned to the infirmary. After becoming the section chief, she recommended these 3 people and said that she would teach them personally. At that time, Han Kexin was also cherishing talent, so he agreed to this request. Miss Monroe, thank you so much. If it weren't for you, we wouldn't have been assigned such a good job. 5 and the benefits are much better than others. In fact, the work of the infirmary is very easy. Although many people are injured every day, most of them are skin injuries. Rub some alcohol, apply anti-inflammatories and wrap it up. Only in very rare cases, serious industrial accidents will occur. Qin Menglu smiled. Everyone escaped all the way here, and they should have helped each other. Don't you always take care of me? What did Miss Monroe say? I don't know what would have happened if you hadn't rescued us at 2.31 night. Several women chatted with emotion. It's been so hard all the way. The feeling of running away, always worried about being eaten by zombies, and women, as a vulnerable group, also face the threat of thugs. Think about it now. To be able to reach Yizi Mountain safely, it feels like a dream. Everything here is so beautiful. The wheat fields that are about to mature, the green jade rushing vegetable garden, and the safe environment. Can eat steaming meals every day. Experience the hardships of the last days. This is the moment to realize that happiness is not easy to come by. The only regret is that I broke a hand. According to the Minister of Personnel, if my hand is not broken, there may be hope to join them. Qin Menglu didn't know what it meant to join them. Perhaps it is to become the manager of the base area. In fact, it's pretty good now. As a senior management, there are too many things every day. Just like Minister Han, all the survivors have to be interviewed. Interview more than 500 people a day. If it were me, I would have been exhausted long ago. Qin Menglu fled all the way and was exhausted. She even enjoyed staying in the small infirmary and enjoying the peace. At this time the door to the infirmary opened. Minister Han walked in with a man. 158. A broken limb can be reborn, but a headshot can't die. Invincible. Qin Menglu didn't know this man. However, the Minister of Personnel Han Kexin is very familiar with her, and Minister Han is very nice, and she promised to keep the 3 little sisters by her side. She quickly got up to greet her warmly. The 2 girls got up and brought 2 stools. Dr. Qin, this is the leader of our base area, come to inspect the conditions of the residential area at night, and drop by to see the situation in the infirmary. Han Kexin spoke very well. Although Xiao Yu said, he wants to see this doctor, but this can't be said directly to the outside world, otherwise it seems that the leader has lost the price. So he changed his words because of the inspection and stopped by to have a look. Sit down. Chief 99. Xiao Yu did not sit down, but looked at Qin Menglu carefully by the light of the street lamp. It is beautiful indeed, like a snow lotus. It is icy and flawless, with a natural cold and arrogant temperament. The end of the world may have smoothed out her arrogant edges and corners. Therefore, in the conversation, there is a little more ease, but the innate cold temperament is still the same as before. Unfortunately, one of the palms was broken. Xiao Yu suddenly thought that when Bai Qian joined the team, she was bitten by 17 zombies. As a result, the system heals and repairs the body later. When Qi Meng joined the team, She directly forced out the chip under her cerebral cortex. If the woman is eligible to join the team, maybe the broken hand can be cured by the system. Dr. Qin, show me your hands. Both hands together. Qin Menglu thought that Xiao Yu just wanted to see her severed hand, and without thinking too much, she stretched out both hands. Xiao Yu grabbed a palm. The other broken hand can only grab the wrist, and then open the team permissioning. Team matching in progress. Name, Qin Menglu. Occupation, Doctor. Comprehensive score, 95. Ling. Meet the team conditions. It is detected that Qin Menglu's left hand is broken, and it is starting to be repaired automatically. Sure enough, the broken hand can be repaired too. Cheating. At this time, Qin Menglu had no idea what was going on. She just felt that a warm current entered her body from Xiao Yu's body. The warmth made her very comfortable, especially the place where the broken hand is itchy, and there are actually granulation buds sprouting. She was amazed. He looked at Xiao Yu for a while, and then looked down at the position where he had severed his hand. Completely stunned, the granulation continued to grow where the hand was severed. Gradually, the shape of a palm appeared, and Qin Menglu could no longer remain calm. Boss. Don't talk. Your palm will grow soon. Qin Menglu obediently shut up. As cold and arrogant as her, in her whole life, she has only been so obedient in front of her parents. Xiao Yu is the only one who makes her obey. Gradually, a complete palm grows. The whole process took less than a minute to complete. A miraculous process of rebirth from a severed palm. Qin Menglu moved her fingers. There was no strangeness, as if this hand, the one that had been cut off, was extremely familiar. Amazing. She looked at Xiao Yu as if she was looking up to a god, admiring, and trembling in her heart. Is the leader a god? At this time, a system prompt also popped up in front of Xiao Yu's eyes. Ling. Qin Menglu's broken palm was successfully repaired and officially joined the professional goddess team. Ling. Team members +1, you will get rewards, and all attributes will be doubled. It worked. Xiao Yu had another intuitive understanding of the system's capabilities. As long as it is recognized by the system, even if he doesn't die, he can be rescued, not to mention being reborn from a broken palm. At this time, the team members increased to 14 people. Everyone's full attributes have also been increased by 14 times, and after Qimeng's dynamic fitness has increased by 50%, the increase has reached a terrifying 21 times, and Xiao Yu directly up to 42 times. The body is full of terrifying power, as if a wild beast is crawling in its body. At this time, Qin Menglu's whole body was in a state of short-circuiting her head. The powerful strength she gained in an instant, the transformation of her body, and the acquisition of supernatural powers made it difficult for her to understand. There is still team information floating in front of him. Below is a line of prompts. Be kicked out of the team by the captain, or the captain dies. You will lose all your power. Captain Xiao Yu. Although Qin Menglu didn't know what happened, but it can be clearly felt it all came from Xiao Yu, who released a warm current into his body, and then everything changed. Kexin, take Dr. Qin aside and explain to her. Give her the battle uniform. By the way. Han Kexin nodded. Today's team training can only be done by herself. After the two left, Xiao Yu was impatient to check Qin Menglu's professional attributes and skills. Every time a new player joins, the most exciting thing is to check skills and attributes, just like opening a blind box. The first is occupational attributes, professional attributes, health enhancement. For all team members, the life strength is increased by 1000%. 0.1000%. Here to draw the key point, the introduction prompt is not 10 times, but 1000%. That is to say, it is an increase of 10 times on the basis of the existing life strength. This strength of life can be understood as the strength of vitality. For example, an 80-year-old old man may fall and die. Young people don't, because young people have more vigorous vitality and stronger physical functions. Xiao Yu, and all the attributes of the team members, have been strengthened by more than 20 times, or even more than 40 times, and their life strength has reached an extremely terrifying level if it is increased by 1000% again, not to mention that it can be decapitated and regenerated like an earthworm, at least being shot in the head. 313 will not die immediately, at least 10 minutes to survive. This is definitely not bragging. Even after Xiao Yu's life strength increased by 1000%, his head was chopped off, and his consciousness would dissipate at least half an hour later. This is the change after the life strength is increased, of course due to the limitation of human body structure, after the brain is destroyed. Even if it is stronger than Xiao Yu, it cannot change the outcome of death. It's just that after the brain is destroyed, it can survive for a while if the heart is pierced, as long as the trauma is not large. With Qimeng's super serum 20 times the self-healing speed, combined with a 1000% increase in life strength, the team members can completely recover. Xiao Yu continued to check Qin Menglu's professional skills, occupational skill super healing, quickly heal others self who are seriously injured and dying, and can regenerate severed limbs. See the introduction of super healing skills. Xiao Yu couldn't calm down for a moment. Broken limbs can be reborn, a powerful group. Even people who are seriously injured and dying can be quickly healed. This skill is a perfect match with a 1000% HP increase attribute. Getting shot in the head, it doesn't matter. With a 1000% increase in HP, you won't be able to die in a while. Immediately apply a super heal to yourself, and it will heal quickly, and it will not kill you with a headshot. This healing ability is stronger than the Blood Corpse's self-healing ability, but not so much. 158. Even if the head is different, I can reshape the body. At this time, Han Kexin came out with Qin Menglu for a while. Her look and temperament were completely different from before, possibly powerful. During the walk, he regained his former self-confidence, with a faint smile on his cold face. This smile was when he saw Xiao Yu immediately became bright and enthusiastic, not a quick face change, but a joy from the heart. Boss, thank you 99. She only said these few words, excited and happy look, but beyond words, no need to explain, but also let people see the mood at the moment. Xiao Yu nodded, I'll be my own in the future, just call me Captain 99. The other people in the team are also called by their names, so they don't need to be too restrained along the way. Han Kexin also told Xiao Yu about Qin Menglu's past, especially seeing 4 thugs bullying 3 girls and beating up a retired soldier. She even dared to draw a knife and kill 4 thugs in a row without hesitation. At that time she only had one hand. Xiao Yu still appreciates this courage, decisiveness and daring. Killing is to save people, but also to save oneself. Xiao Yu likes this kind of person. Correct. Qin Menglu's skills are still level 1. Yesterday Xiao Yu kept a lot of level 1 experience orbs, which was just enough for her to immediately upgrade to level 3 and unlock new functions. You crush all these experience balls. Xiao Yu took out 30 level 1 experience balls. Qin Menglu held them in the palm of his hand, and pinched them one by one. The mysterious energy, as each experience ball was crushed, let Qin Menglu absorb into the body. Ling. Your team member Qin Menglu's professional skill super healing has been upgraded to level 2. Ling. Your team member Qin Menglu has raised the professional skill super healing to level 3, unlocking the new function reshaping body, rebuilt body. Xiao Yu quickly checked the introduction, remodeled body. Even if the body is in a different place, as long as the consciousness is still there, it can super healing, so that the broken body can reshape the body and complete the resurrection. Mom drops. Xiao Yu almost screamed out. Not only him at this moment, Qin Menglu was also stunned, and the two stared at each other for a long time without saying a word, causing Han Kexin and the 3 girls in the small courtyard to be at a loss. I don't know what happened to Xiao Yu and Qin Menglu. About a minute passed. The two laughed at the same time. If it weren't for the fact that everyone was an adult, they would probably have laughed like two fools. It is because the remodeled body is too powerful. It's outrageous. In fact, whether it is the professional attribute life enhancement or the professional skill super healing, including the remodeled body unlocked by the level 3 skill unscrew one by one, not so exaggerated, but a combination of the 3 is an existence that defies the sky. Life enhancement 1000% increase in life strength. Even if the body is different, even if it is an ordinary player, the brain consciousness can still survive for 10 minutes if such a thing really happened. As long as super healing and remodeling body are combined, a new body can grow under the HUD that lost a body. Then complete the resurrection and super healing. You can heal yourself. That is to say, if Xiao Yu's HUD fell, he could save himself. This is where the hell is going. Incredibly strong, although Qin Menglu's skills may be rarely used, or even have the opportunity to use them in a lifetime. But a great scientist once said, not having a sword in your hand is different from not having a sword in your hand. With the 3 guarantees of life enhancement, super healing and reshaping body, Xiao Yu can be fearless. Beautiful. In my heart suddenly, I felt that the rotten smell of zombies in the air was fragrant. In the last days, there is nothing more worthy of happiness than having a life safety guarantee. Xiao Yu immediately ordered, Qin Menglu, I have appointed you as the medical minister of the base area, and from tonight, you will move to the Hilltop Manor. Hear this appointment. The 3 girls were also happy for Qin Menglu, and the higher the status of Qin Menglu, the 3 of them will be taken care of when they are in the base. Xiao Yu also used group sharing to share Guo Xiao's enhanced headshot skills with Qin Menglu, and instantly rose from an auxiliary member to a battle sequence. Okay, now you choose your weapon. You can take whatever you like. 35. Xiao Yu took out all kinds of cold weapons and hot weapons, all of which were of blue and purple quality. Qin Menglu chose a blue tang knife, a blue pistol, and a purple sniper. Okay, Kexin, take Qin Menglu up the mountain to arrange a room for her. As for the three of you, Xiao Yu looked at Qin Menglu's three little sisters and said, the three of you are also people who repay your kindness, so I'll give you a little reward. Xiao Yu waved his hand, punched 3 attribute marks into the bodies of 3 girls. These 3 attribute marks condensed Lu Man's energy dividend. Even if the 3 girls were studying nursing work, they could still enjoy the power obtained by the soldiers. Killing zombies outside their physical fitness will be continuously strengthened. Xiao Yu's actions were considered to be selling Qin Menglu a face. Her participation was indeed of great significance to Xiao Yu. Okay, you go first. Luo, I still have something to do. 99 After speaking, Xiao Yu walked out of the small courtyard and walked towards the survivors' living quarters, the other side. At the very edge of the survivors' settlement, there is a low brick and stone house. There were only 3 hardboards in the room. There were several pieces of torn clothes crumpled up on the bed. There are 3 stainless steel bowls on the ground, each with a pair of chopsticks. Besides, nothing was to be found in this room, where slaves from the base lie. There are currently only 3, that is, more than a month ago. The 3 people who used drugs in the middle of the night in an attempt to seduce a woman to a woman. The one headed by him is called Brother Yuang. They went well that night, but due to the curse contract, just as they took off their pants, the curse took effect and the brothers were cut off. He was later ordered by Han Kexin to put on shackles and become a slave. Not even a chance to escape. Hey, when are our days going to end? Very good. Although there are regulations in the base area, as long as you perform well, you will have the opportunity to remove the shackles in the future and put on a black pin to become a free man. But how long is this future, Brother Yuang? It was you who harmed us. I'm also obsessed with SX for a while. So I shouldn't listen to your instigation, Brother Yuang. Brother Yuang lowered his head and said nothing. I also regret it in my heart. Although when I was on the escape with 2 younger brothers Shuang, everyone had a share, but I see myself being tortured like a bird now. The appearance of no people and ghosts all day long is still a long way off. Let alone the feeling in my heart. The most important is, even if there are no brothers, this thing doesn't work. If you have it, you will be a man. Even if you are a slave, you will have the confidence to belong to a man, at least brave. Without it, it's a eunuch. Even the last self-confidence of the man has been lost. Brother Yuang sighed, and inadvertently, he saw a stalwart figure walking towards him under the street lamp in the distance. 159. The night is by the river, regaining the glory of men. Yongzhe was immediately puzzled. Who will come to the place where the slaves live? Hey, here's someone, a bit like a leader. Before the Battle of the Corpse Tide, Brother Yuang and his group were also watching the live surveillance broadcast in the square, and they were deeply impressed by Xiao Yu's figure. No, what did the leader come to us for? Did he change his mind and kill us? For Xiao Yu, the survivors both admired and feared as the patron saint of the base. He has many fanatical admirers, and some even worship him as a god, but everyone was afraid of him at every turn. They throw people to feed the zombies. The most memorable thing is that the last time more than 100 black pins defected collectively, the leader didn't stop him at the time. Just let these people not live in the safe area near Yizishan, because that is the site that the mobile troops have worked so hard to clear. Since you want to leave, just go further. As a result, the group did not listen and decided to settle in the safe area. More than 100 people were arrested that night, and they were all fed to zombies. Every time Brother Yang and his group thought about that scene, they couldn't help but feel chills down their spines. The leader was both a patron saint and a god of death, admirable and cold and ruthless. It's getting dark. What is the leader doing at our place? Could it be that you haven't fed zombies for a long time? Do you want to capture us slaves and feed them to zombies? 99 Brother Yuang, don't scare me. Not 313 Unknowingly, Xiao Yu came to the 3 of them. You 3, come with me. 55 Done really going to be fed zombies? Brother Yang knelt down with a thud. Boss, I have not made any more mistakes. I am reforming myself every day, working diligently. Please don't throw me to feed the zombies. It's really not good. You can do it. Kill me and then feed it to the zombies. I don't want to be eaten raw. The other 2 quickly knelt down and kowtowed. Leader, I kowtow to you. Kill me first and then feed the zombies. It hurts to be eaten raw. 35 Thinking of being ripped off by zombies one by one. The feeling is more uncomfortable than being slashed by 1,000 knives, and it is better to die without knowing anything. Xiao Yu looked at the 3 who were kneeling and begging for mercy, suddenly speechless. Do you think I'm a pervert who likes to feed zombies? The 3 looked at Xiao Yu, listening to this tone. It doesn't seem to be caught to feed the zombies. Don't look at it. Get up and follow me. As long as you perform well, I will remove the shackles from you tonight, and I can even give you brush pins. Brush pins. It is 1 level higher than the black pin, with good benefits. There are vegetables. Everyone has a room. There is a Simmons bed, a sofa, and a wardrobe. Vegetables have oil and salt. Damn. Thinking of the taste of oil and salt, the three of them swallowed in unison. Get up and go. Xiao Yu brought the three of them to the bank of the Gungan Dujiang River, and then took out a purple seedling knife and looked at Brother Yuang's group. Give you a chance, let me practice the knife. I'm not asking for your opinion, but telling you. The voice fell. Xiao Yu waved his hand and punched 3 attribute marks into Brother Yuang's body. These 3 attribute marks condensed Qin Menglu's life enhancement. At this time, everyone's life strength has increased to 1000%. Even if the head is cut off with a knife, the consciousness can survive for at least 2 minutes. Listen. This is your chance to turn around. As long as you cooperate with me, I will make your broken body parts grow back after the event, and restore the confidence of men. 35 Xiao Yu finished. Then he swiped a knife with his hand, and easily cut off one of the bearded legs. What? Beard let out a scream. However, it was covered up by the roar of the rolling river and did not spread to the residential areas of the base. Brother Yang and another man with a big nose were scared to death. What is this for? To give us a chance to turn over, is to cut off our legs. It would be better to just die. This is the end of the world. How can you live without your legs? Xiao Yu ignored the frightened Brother Yang and Garlic Nose. Instead, it released the super healing technique, and a light of healing landed on the beard's body and turned into a warm current into the beard's body. The force began to nourish his broken legs, including crippled brothers. Gradually, granulation sprouts continued to grow. Xiao Yu brought 3 BHCD slaves to the riverside for the purpose of trying out the new skills acquired tonight. This is the ability to bring the dead back to life. If you don't try it yourself or see it with your own eyes, you will always feel that you are lacking in confidence. Think about it. Looking for these slaves is the most suitable candidate. After about 5 minutes, the bearded legs grew back. It can be seen in the bright moonlight, and there are still a pair of broken legs on the ground. Brother Yang, Beard, Garlic Nose, the 3 of them stared at the broken leg on the ground like a ghost, and then looked at the newly grown leg with a beard. Stupid. For a minute they realized that a beam of light just now was released by the leader. He chopped off his bearded legs, then used a mysterious light to regenerate the broken leg. This method is called a magical technique. It is no wonder that people in the base area are saying that the leader is the reincarnation of a god, although none of them believe in superstition. But who can explain all this? If there is no magic power, how can it be possible to regrow a pair of legs in less than 5 minutes before the blink of an eye? The most shocking is the beard. At this moment, I feel the return of my brother, and the self-confidence of the man is back. Chief, I thank you for your recreation, and I kowtow to you. Xiao Yu slashed the shackles on Beard's body with one knife. From now on, you are free. Tomorrow I will let Minister Han give you a brush pin. Get up. 99 Xiao Yu is ruthless though, but there are also clear grievances, and words count. Promised to let them try their skills, and then resume the free issuance of brush pins. Of course, to do it, however, their identities will be highlighted at most. You can only enjoy the benefits of brush pins, and it is impossible to hold an important position. Okay, throw your legs into the Dujiang River and wash them away. I don't want people to see bloody legs here tomorrow. Beard picked up the legs on the ground, feeling filled with emotion. These legs were still on him a few minutes ago. Now they are going to be thrown into the Dujiang River again. It has grown on me for more than 30 years, and I am still a little reluctant, but the leader's words are holy orders. Beard only remembered for a second, then threw his broken leg into the river and was swept away by the rolling water. Xiao Yu's long knife pointed at Garlic Nose. It's your turn, come and try the knife for me. 35 Garantanos immediately raised his head and raised his chest. Just now the beard has already hit the head. The leader can regenerate the broken leg, and he will not be afraid in his heart. Come on, Chief, it is my honor to let you try the knife. If I say a word, I will be the son of a turtle. Garlic Nose is very excited now. I wish Xiao Yu quickly cut off his leg, and then a divine power can grow back, and the most important thing is that the lost brother can be returned. I can finally be a man again. But right now, Xiao Yu suddenly took out a sprayer and shot it at the heart of Garlic Nose. Boom. The position of the entire heart was directly blasted into a big hole. 160. Twist your head off as a ball kick. The first time you play like this, a hole the size of a fist was blasted out of the heart of Garlic Nose, but he still has consciousness, especially after the life strength is increased by 1000%. The consciousness will not dissipate for at least 2 minutes. What happened? The leader doesn't play cards according to the routine. Didn't he agree to cut off his legs? Why did he play a dead hand? Is this what death feels like? The body has lost control, and only consciousness remains. What should I do if I die? A lot of strange thoughts popped up in Garlic Nose. Even the experience of his life came to mind like a slideshow. At this time a warm light entered his body, turned into a mysterious power, and began to nourish his smash heart. And even more amazing, his already weakened consciousness seemed to grow stronger after being nourished by this mysterious power. The consciousness is very clear at this moment. In addition to not being able to control their own body, there is no doubt that other people are normal. Brother Yang and Beard, standing aside frightened at the moment, hit the heart directly with his spray. The leader. Really treat us as a test? It's over. The Garlic Nose is dead. But a miraculous scene happened. The broken heart began to grow again, and even the smashed ribs and the rib cage were growing rapidly. It only took 3 minutes. This time Garlic Nose, who should have died without a doubt, stood up again, patted his intact chest, and felt the return of his little brother. Garlic knelt down in front of Xiao Yu with a puff of nose. Chief, oh no, God, you are the reincarnation of a god. I must enshrine you in my life. If I am fortunate enough to have another child in the future, I will also let the child burn incense and kowtow to you every day. 39 Garlic Nose is completely taken. He really felt the approach of death, until the leader released that light, which instantly pulled him back from the brink of death. At that moment he recognized that the leader is definitely an immortal reincarnation. 10,000% of it is. Get up. Xiao Yu said lightly. He got the answer he wanted, not to mention that his heart was pierced. Even if he was blasted into scum, he could still be saved. Next is the most dangerous brain. Xiao Yu looked at Brother Yang. It's your turn. Brother Yang subconsciously wanted to pee. The first time he chopped off his beard's legs, and the second time he smashed the heart of Garlic Nose. The more the leader plays, the more perverted he is. Don't know how to play me, leader? No. Immortal. Can you give me the details first? What are you playing this time? Xiao Yu doesn't like the title of immortal very much, both middle school and supernatural. In the future, you are not allowed to call me immortal, but still call me the leader. As for what to play, you have to play to know. As soon as Xiao Yu raised his hand, the purple meow knife instantly pierced Brother Yang's head. i.e. Beard and Garlic Nose were so frightened that they shuddered. Playing with the brain this time. Brother Yang is probably not saved. The head is not the heart. But a miraculous scene happened again due to the smaller area of trauma. It only took 2 minutes this time for Brother Yang to stand up. He rubbed his forehead nervously. Not even a scar. God, it's amazing, and my brother is back, playing a perverted game with the leader for a while. It's worth it. Xiao Yu smiled lightly. The head can be pierced and can live. And now there is one last test left. Swa. The purple seedling knife swung across Brother Yang's neck, and a head fell on the grass. Because it is by the river, the bank of the river was washed into a slope, and Brother Yang's head actually rolled into the river. Xiao Yu was taken aback. The Dujiang River is rolling, and the water is extremely fast, and if the head falls into it, it will be washed away immediately. He hurried forward and kicked Brother Yang's head back like a ball. Ouch, so dizzy, it feels like the world is spinning. 35 Brother Yang's consciousness is still there. At this moment, as his head rolls on the grass, the perspective in front of him keeps spinning. I was still clear-headed. In an instant, it became a state of ignorance. Except for remembering that his head was cut off by the leader, he didn't know anything else at this time. The Beard and the Garlic Nose only felt a chill in the neck. The leader is so perverted. In the past, I only heard other people say when they were pretending to be arrogant. I saw it with my own eyes today. Xiao Yu quickly released super healing and rebuilt body. He didn't dare to play too big in case of delay, not to mention the death of Brother Yang. The key is to waste an experimental opportunity. With a healing light descended, Brother Yang woke up from the dazed state, and it was that kind of warm mysterious power that flowed from the brain to the neck. Then the neck started to itch. The dense granulation began to sprout, and he was surprised to find that he looked like an onion. Right, it is the feeling that my head is like an onion, the feeling of rooting and sprouting after burying in the soil, and growing green onion seedlings. This is so special. Absolutely, the leader is amazing. As long as his head is still there, he can bring me back to life. Gradually, Xiao Yu's mental power began to atrophy, and the use of super healing and reshaping body at the same time consumed a lot of spirit. In addition, I just tried the skills on Beard and Garlic Nose, which also consumed a lot of energy. Xiao Yu gave himself an amazing amount of milk. Continue to release super healing under 300% status blessing. After another 10 minutes, Brother Yang finally grew a complete body again. Call. Taking a deep breath, Brother Yang stood up from the ground. Boss, this time, still playing. Brother Yang shivered a little when he spoke. Today's encounter is both frightening, thrilling, and a sense of honor. He was rescued from a dead body who has such a special experience. He can boast about this matter all his life in the base area, and there are still people who testify. Xiao Yu frowned and thought about it. Forget it, let's go. Tomorrow I will let Minister Han give you brush pins 99. Remember, be honest in the future, otherwise there will be no chance of turning over again. Brother Yuang and his group quickly knelt down and kowtowed. Leader, rest assured, we will be honest in the future. 55 We will enshrine you. 35 You are really an immortal. Tonight is our honor. If you still want to play in the future, you can find our third brother at any time. Xiao Yu stopped their flattery. He then asked Brother Yuang to throw his headless body into the Dujiang River and sent the three away. In fact, Xiao Yu still has one last guess that he has not tried because he believes that there is an 80% chance that someone will die in one try. That's smashing the head off, just like the red-eyed monster. Blast the head like a watermelon with a spray. Humans are limited by their body structure. The head is always the most vulnerable. Even if the life strength is increased by 1000%, the head can remain conscious, but the head shattered directly into a bag of scum. Consciousness absolutely dissipates. It can no longer be saved. Although it was not confirmed, Xiao Yu didn't want to use the lives of Brother Yang's group to experiment. Cut off feet, smash hearts, chop off heads. Xiao Yu is somewhat confident, but he has no confidence at all after blowing his head to pieces and then resuscitating it anyway. The Luhu base will be attacked in a few days. At that time, it would be more appropriate to catch two people behind the scenes to do the experiment. 161. 200,000 corpses are thrown into the lake and pollute your water source. Just play. The next day Wu Deking continued to take people to the bombing site to collect the corpses. More than 100 vehicles of various kinds, digging, shoveling, and muck trucks poured the corpses onto the mountain of corpses from a distance. It has become a big mountain. The scorching heat in July, and the stench spread far and wide on the mountain of corpses. A large number of crews landed on it to eat carrion, and there were also a group of vultures, which could not be driven away. I don't know what happens to these birds when they eat the carrion of zombies. Today's zombie corpses have begun to grow maggots. It is estimated that at most tomorrow, it will become a mountain of maggots. Xiao Yu asked Wu Deking to hurry up and try to collect all the bodies before dark, so that he could easily put them into the space warehouse. Although a level 3 space warehouse, it is no longer necessary to touch objects. Reach out and you can form a magnetic field to collect nearby things, but maggots are alive. Space warehouses cannot hold live animals. When collecting the corpses, all the corpses of 313 will be taken away, and all the maggots will be left on the ground. Mad, I don't even dare to think about how it feels when I step on it. Xiao Yu can float in the air. Xiaoran and Bai Kai and Nigan were annoyed also. On the plain outside the base area, the pile of burning corpses just burned the flesh. The bones are still there. Under the scorching sun, Xiao Yu put this pile of bones into the space warehouse, then drive to Luhu. All 200,000 skeletons were thrown into Luke's lakes, contaminating the water source of the base. Behind the scenes, he would not be thrown into the Dujiang River. Really below the base, Commander Feli saw that 200,000 zombie bones were thrown into Luhu, and he almost ran away with anger. The water used in the base is all taken from Luhu Lake, and there is a super corpse king outside, which gathers all the nearby zombies, so there are no zombies in the lake, and the water source is always clean. It's good now. The lake is full of zombie bones. Even if there is a water purifier, I feel sick drinking it. FK, damn heretic. Sooner or later I will catch you and feed the zombies. Gradually as the sky darkened, Wu Deking sent a letter saying that the bodies of the bombing sites were all piled up. Xiao Yu took Kai and Nigan and Kiashu to collect the corpse. Xiaoran didn't go because Xiao Yu transferred all the food to her warehouse for storage. Although time in the space warehouse is still even, the space can be separated, but it also contains food and zombie corpses, and it is still a rotting corpse, which is really uncomfortable to eat. With peace of mind in the future, it's better not to let Xiaoran come to collect the corpse. The three of them rode a motorcycle, and in the evening sunset, they could see a huge hill in the distance. All are piled up from dead bodies. Crows and vultures made this place their home, and when they were full, they rested on the mountain of corpses. The stench of the corpse mountain spread far and wide. Fortunately, Xiao Yu and his group were wearing protective clothing and carrying oxygen cylinders. If you don't have this equipment, you don't know what it will be like. Come to the mountain of corpses. No one got out of the car. There were already maggots squirming on the ground, and it would definitely crackle when you stepped on it. It's still more comfortable to ride in the car. Xiao Yu stretched out his palm, released the magnetic field of storage, and kept the corpse in the space warehouse. Some are complete corpses killed by rockets, but the vast majority were corpses that were shaken to pieces, and the ones that were blown into pieces were no longer of any value. Just hope it rots quickly. Then a heavy rain washed it away. At this time, Kayanin and Kiashu also began to collect the corpses. The third level space warehouse has space for storage, and the bodies are all piled together, so the storage speed is very fast. More than 10 o'clock in the evening, the three finally moved all the corpses into the space warehouse, and then Xiao Yu concentrated the corpses and transferred them to his warehouse. The next day the wheat is ripe, and the 800 acres of wheat fields in the base area are golden at a glance. Wheat is ripe in July. This is also the first time this happened. Zhang Baiqian of the Ministry of Agriculture arranged for manpower to start harvesting the wheat, all of which were mechanized operations, and the harvesting speed was very fast. There are many dryers beside the wheat fields. The recovered wheat will be dehydrated and dried, and then collected by Xiaoran, leaving only a small part for daily consumption. The other side, Xiao, Minister of Infrastructure, followed Qiannigan and Qiashu's mobile unit, and went out to collect building materials together. Next, building docks, walls, and housing requires a lot of building materials. The heavy machinery team came to Shangshu ancient town. This is the first town to be cleaned up. Xiao was originally a seasoning shop trapped in the town's vegetable market, then used dried chili peppers to ignite. After the zombies outside the store were smoked away, he escaped from the toilet window, and was rescued by Qiannigan on the top floor of a private house. Reminds me of the past. The Red Queen. Report the situation in the town. 35 Now that there is a Red Queen, the reconnaissance task has become easier, and Qiashu has made soy sauce directly, and it has become more leisurely. Your Excellency the Legion Commander 95 Currently, there are 34 zombies in Shangshu town, all of which have been locked at this moment. The bird's eye view of the entire town appeared in front of Qiannigan. Although the zombies in the town have been cleaned up very early, there will always be scattered zombies wandering from other places, so need to clean up. The first squadron of the mobile group, you are responsible for cleaning up the zombies in the town. Others stay put. 35 After Qiannigan gave the order, a 50-person mobile squadron set off to clean up 34 zombies, basically like playing an addition. Report the location at any time when there is red. Probably only a few minutes at this time. Xiao's thoughts moved, and a magic design pen appeared out of thin air, and then activated the special ability of the third level skill, burning into miracles. Xiao controlled it with her mind. The magic design pen volleyed against a tall building, first the outline, and then some weird symbols. It took about a minute to complete the strange operation. The building seemed to be infused with a magical force, and the tiles outside began to chalk off, but it didn't fall straight off. It seems to be supported by some kind of force, and the falling speed is relatively slow. Then the concrete of the wall is also decomposed and restored to cement and river sand. In the beams and load-bearing walls, gravel and steel bars are also decomposed. The last exposed red brick also automatically falls down. The water pipes, wires, doors and windows in the building are classified one by one. Less than 10 minutes. The building materials of a building are all decomposed and restored to their original materials. 2.3 Cement, river sand, and gravel are piled up on one side. One by one steel bars are piled up. The red bricks are neatly sized. All kinds of water pipes, wires, and doors and windows are also sorted, and the whole process is really strange, like magic. Wow, Sister Xiao's skills are too powerful. In the future, we will no longer have to lack materials in the base area. 35 Qiashu, let's go and collect the materials. By the way, those doors and windows, electrical wires, water pipes, and tiles were also taken together. At present, in the residential area of the base area, simple doors and windows are installed, and some even pull up curtains directly as windows. It doesn't matter that it's summer and winter, the cold wind cannot be blocked, and these doors and windows have to be taken back and installed. By Qiannigan and Qiashu began to store building materials. Xiao used the magic design pen again, and began to draw strange lines on another building. 162. The Magic Warship. Kill all the heretics and leave no one behind. 5 days passed. In a flash the population of the base area reaches 7,000. There is an urgent need to increase housing, and Wu Deking's construction team has already started non-stop construction. Take a few days off. The fighters in the base area were rejuvenated, and the war trauma syndrome left by the last corpse war was basically healed. It's only mild symptoms after all. Take a few days off to relax. Xiao Yu is no longer disgusted by the mention of zombies. He has to maintain 6 hours of sleep every day. These days sleeping can filter out the spam in your mind, fix negative emotions. In these 5 days, after the wheat in the base was harvested, the seeds were sown again. Xiao designed a large wharf upstream of the base. Once the first phase of the project is completed, 50 warships can be docked. The second phase of the project is even more powerful, and it can dock warships. A wall was built outside the pier. Make sure that there are no zombies wandering from a distance and making trouble on the dock. Today, the mobile troops and infantry regiments all set off to Luxalake's to find the exhaust and intake passages of the Luxalake's base. As long as the passage is found, The Luhu base can be bombed immediately. 17 including Shiraishi mountain base. Not one can escape. In the past few days, the Red Queen has also been closely monitoring. Not only did not find other bases, even the Lurks Lakes and Beishishin bases did not have any nighttime activities, and it was estimated that they had been exposed. Xiao Yu is not worried either. Guess what can be done? Can it be possible to move the entire base away? The Red Queen didn't get anything. At least several large bases were discovered, but they were all outside the province. There were civilian bases, and they survived by relying on the natural danger. There are also military bases. Soldiers used heavy weapons and guns and ammunition to shelter nearby survivors, which are still relatively safe. The Red Queen has made contact with these bases. Farther areas are temporarily unavailable, although satellite signals can be sent to the western continent, northern continent, including Xiao continent and other regions, but there is only one monitoring satellite. It is impossible to monitor the whole world without dead ends. I am afraid that it will have to wait for the Red Queen to continue to upgrade and control more satellites. Xiao Yu came to inspect the pier site. When the workers saw him, they immediately became frenzied, just like the expressions of the believers when they saw the gods, which made Xiao Yu a little unnatural. When I saw Brother Yuang, Beard and Garlic on the construction site, 3 people were there. He got it. It must be that they told everyone what happened the other night, which led the survivors to be more certain that they were the reincarnation of gods. No matter how bad it is, he's regarded as a savior. Xiao Yu didn't want to correct anything either. Only when there is faith in the last days can people live with motivation. He looked towards the river. Anna brought her own navy team, a total of 500 people trained on the ship. The main thing is to train the shooting ability on the ship. It is also necessary to adapt to water combat, and some people have been replaced because of seasickness. Xiao Yu's task today is to transform the warship. The survivors who escaped from Dujiang recently, all the boats suitable for transformation were put away by Xiao Yu, including motorboats, speedboats, ferries, sand mining ships, etc., a total of more than 80 ships. Xiao Yu found a place with no one, and summoned her level 3 magic modified machine. Level 3 machine tools have undergone earth-shaking changes, reaching a height of 100 meters and a width of 200 meters, but the thickness is only a dozen meters. After the huge hatch was opened, there was a whirlpool-style space door inside. Even if the machine tool is only 10 meters thick, but the space door in the hatch is enough to fit an aircraft carrier. Xiao Yu threw a ferry in, then some discarded cars as accessories, and finally 600 caddies of gold. Slowly the hatch closed, and countless precision parts began to turn. Xiao Yu couldn't help looking forward to it. It was also the first time that he had transformed a warship into a demon. About half an hour passed. The green light outside the cabin door turned on, and then the heavy cabin door opened, and a brand new warship was sent out by the conveyor belt. Xiao Yu's eyes lit up. This is so special. Where can I see the appearance of a ferry, with an extremely sci-fi appearance? There is a meat grinder like a magically modified chariot on the bow, which will spin wildly as the warship moves, strangling any creature on the water into pieces. Definitely the nemesis of surface zombies. There are also rotating blades on both sides of the hull. Even after docking, the blades can still be rotated at a high speed, so that zombies cannot climb up. The hull closed is also nice. It uses bulletproof steel plate plus alloy armor, which can withstand 30mm cannon fire. There is a turret mounting bay on the bow deck. A fully automatic cannon can be installed. Xiao Yu decided to use this warship as the flagship, and then dismantled the cannon on the turret outside the base. At least ensure that the Navy has heavy firepower weapons to prevent accidents. The other side, mobile troops and infantry troops have already started casting nets to search for intake and exhaust passages in Luhu Lake. Commander Philly is hiding in the underground base looking at the surveillance screen. I was anxious. Damn, what are these heretics doing? What the hell are they looking for? 35 At this time, the deputy said, Your Excellency Commander, the intake and exhaust passages of our base are all in this area. And they cannot continue to search, otherwise there will be problems sooner or later. I suggest letting the Corpse King outside the base immediately lead the zombies to besiege them. Commander Philly also thought so, but outside the base, there was only one Corpse King leading 10,000 zombies to guard the base. It was really in a hurry. A few days ago they have to attack Yizishan again, and after the end they have to occupy the ancient capital military area immediately. So the Corpse King has been transferred away as a result. Not only did not capture the next Finger Mountain, even the Corpse King of the 313 ancient capital military region was captured alive by the man who could fly. It's really worth it. If I had known the last batch of Corpse Kings, they should not have been transferred to the ancient capital military region, directly commanding hundreds of thousands of zombies, and guarding them outside the base. No, in the end, The 10,000 zombies led by the Corpse King guard the secret exit of the base, and these 10,000 zombies, it is estimated that they can't help them. Commander Philly knew how powerful the people of One Finger Mountain were in combat, and there is satellite monitoring. Once the zombie army is called, it will inevitably be discovered, and the secret entrance will be exposed. Commander Philly paced back and forth in a hurry. Suddenly a sternness flashed across his face, and he gritted his teeth and said, "It seems that our base has been discovered by Yizishin, otherwise they would not have sent so many people to search, although I don't know what they're looking for, but it must be against us." 55 Since it has been exposed, there is no need to cover up and directly send a formation of armed helicopters to attack them through the gate. Philip's judgment was correct. Since it was exposed, the base gate must be known to the other party. That being the case, why not do it in an upright manner? At least the secret exits of the base, as well as the intake and exhaust passages, will not be exposed. Pass my order, send a formation of armed helicopters, and immediately attack the infidels outside. Kill them all, not a single one. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. 163, 4 beauties jerking off, 1 shot and 1 accurate. At this time, the mobile squadron led by Yukeshu had already found the brewery outside. The factory door is locked. There are a lot of zombies inside. You wait for me, I'll go in and see. 55 If you want to clear all the zombies in the factory, it is estimated that it will take 4 or 5 hours, which is too long. So Yukeshu used his royal key King Kong to fly directly, and then it landed in various factory rooms and camped on shuttle. It was normal in the factory, and there was no equipment similar to exhaust or intake. Then she came to the warehouse area again. Looking in through the high side window, there are a lot of beers stacked inside. Yukeshu thought, after the Luhu base is taken away, these beers can be moved back. Whether you drink it yourself, you can even give it to the soldiers in the base area. At this time Yukeshu saw a special warehouse. Other warehouses are basically closed, leaving only high side windows for ventilation, but this warehouse has many windows open and there is no glass. All sides are ventilated. There is a fence outside the warehouse and it says no entry. Why is the warehouse forbidden to enter? There is obviously a problem. Yukeshu immediately flew in and easily killed 2 zombies. Then he used a purple tang knife to chop off the door lock, and pushed open the large iron door covered with dust. At the same time below Luhu base, Commander Feely was watching this scene. "No, I was discovered by this woman." 35 Has the gunship formation lifted off? Hurry up and kill this woman. 55 Helicopter formation received. We have left from the lift platform. At this time, on the small island of Luhu Lake not far away, 10 armed helicopters flew into the air one after another and flew towards the direction of Yukeshu. Commander Philly looked at the helicopter full of weapons and ammunition. The stone in my heart finally fell. Damn infidels. Do you think we should? I really can't deal with you. If not to avoid detection, our helicopters could have killed you long ago. Commander Philly regretted it a little. If I had known that I would get to this point, when I discovered Yizishin for the first time, I should have sent a formation of armed helicopters to destroy this base. They were very weak back then and it does not have the ability to shield the signal. A helicopter formation can easily destroy Yizishin, and now they have grown, and when they enter the diameter of 200 kilometers, they can't receive any signal. If you send a helicopter, you are courting death. At this time, after having been monitoring Luhu's Honghao, 10 armed helicopters were also found. Attention of all units. 10 gunships took off, targeting the 2nd and 1st squadrons. Yukeshu, you have to be careful. 39 Watt. The armed helicopter at Luhu base was dispatched, just in time. At the same time the aerial bird's eye view also appeared in front of every soldier. Everyone can clearly see the positions of the 10 armed helicopters. Kyanun, Kinksu, Kimin, find the sniper spot. We will destroy the helicopter formation. 99 After Yukeshu finished speaking, he immediately flew out of the warehouse. Looking up, I saw 10 black dots flying towards this side in the distance. Yukeshu quickly switched to a sniper rifle. This is a purple sniper rifle. Xiao Yu harvested a lot of purple weapons in the Battle of the Corpse Tide a few days ago, coupled with a captive boss. Kill 4 heads every day. Now all the team members are equipped with purple firearms, among which there are as many as 7 purple sniper rifles, by Kyanun, Yukeshu, Tang Kingsu, Yikimin. All of them are purple sniper. Xiao Yu himself, has already used the orange anti-equipment heavy sniper and 8 times the mirror Yu clearly aimed at the pilot of an armed helicopter a distance of more than 2,000 meters. Even if she has the marksmanship called by the god of death, after more than 1,200 meters, there is no guarantee of one-shot kill. However, all team members share the special ability tracking bullets of level 3 enhanced headshot. Yu's thoughts moved with the release of her mental power. In an instant, her consciousness, the bullet, and the helicopter established an inseparable relationship between the three. This scene made Commander Feely of the underground base dumbfounded. Do what? Is this woman crazy? She wants to JO with a sniper rifle. Ha ha ha, I'm dying of laughter. It is said that Dongfeng Kingdom used to like to shoot dramas, and pictures of rifles and planes often appeared 35. It's ridiculous. In fact, a large caliber anti-aircraft gun has almost zero chance of hitting an aircraft. Even if 4 or 5 large caliber anti-aircraft guns are fired together, at least 3,000 shells are needed to knock down a plane. A sniper rifle and want to fly. It's just a dream. All the Zile people in the command room of Luhu base couldn't help laughing, and even wondered if the woman on the surveillance screen was too stupid. Oh, stupid heretic, I really don't understand how such a group of people without common sense eliminated the 200,000 corpse tied soon. Yu answered Commander Feely's question. She smiled gracefully, then pulled the trigger. Boom. A 7.62 bullet shot out, automatically corrected its trajectory in the air, and turned a corner and directly penetrated the bulletproof glass of the gunship, then pierced the driver's head in an instant. His brains burst, spraying the entire cab red. Immediately afterwards, the penetrating power of the bullet did not decrease at all, and continued to penetrate the driver's seat, then penetrated the people in the back row, and finally broke the tail of the helicopter. Immediately after, the helicopter lost its balance, circling and falling from the sky. Oh, fake, what the hell is going on, at such a long distance? Her sniper rifle can't hit that far at all. Who can tell me what's going on here? At this time on the other side, Bai Qianun, Tang Qingsu, and Yer Kimin also opened fire one after another. All have level 3 enhanced headshot and tracking bullets. With 3 shots fired, there were 3 more helicopters, circling and falling from the sky. A click, the bullet was loaded, and Yu aimed at another gunship again and again, and said, "Everyone, make a quick decision. I have found the air intake channel of this base. After the battle is over, I will destroy this place first." 35. The voice fell, and Yu pulled the trigger again. Okay, Xiao, bang shot. The penetrating power of the purple spy is too strong. A bullet directly penetrates the entire fuselage, and even the person and the plane are pierced together. Another gunship went down immediately after Bai Qianun and the others. They fired at almost the same time. In the blink of an eye, 8 helicopters were shot down, and the last 2 helicopters were left flying alone in the sky, at a loss for a while. Lord Commander, we request to evacuate. Please answer. We asked to evacuate. At this time, Commander Feely was in a state of confusion, and he hadn't reacted yet. What the problem was, how could a sniper rifle knock a gunship off the ground and a gun shot the driver in the head? This marksmanship was so weird that it was frightening, and when he heard the evacuation request, he immediately said, "Approve the evacuation. We can't lose any more helicopters. We have to withdraw quickly." But right now, bang boom, 2 more gunshots. 164, all-out war, imminent. The elegant werewolf Yu. With 2 gunshots, the last 2 gunships also fell. Commander Felix looked at the empty surveillance screen. The fist was clenched tightly, and the nails had not caught on the skin. At this moment, in addition to the endless anger, there was also a deep sense of helplessness and grievance. Obviously just a group with rifles and sniper rifles. There are even many people who are holding cold weapons, but it was this group of people who had nothing to do with them. And even 10 gunships didn't even have time to shoot a single machine gun bullet, just got shot down. So frustrating. Fake. 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 Philly roared angrily 3 times, then let out a long sigh. I will connect the video of the headquarters, and I want to talk to the patriarch. Commander Philly knew big trouble could come next because the base has been completely exposed. So many people in Yizishan are looking for things near the base, and there is absolutely no peace of mind. The only way now is to launch a full-scale attack on Yizishan, not using zombies. Instead, they dispatched all the Chalet fighters to participate in the battle in person, drove out all the chariots, and fought to the death with Yizishan. The other side, Yi Keshu put away his sniper rifle and said, "Qianun, you continue to search, and I will destroy the air intake channel first." After speaking, she returned to the warehouse 327. The warehouse is ventilated on all sides. There is a ventilation shaft with a diameter of 20 meters in the middle, and a super large induced draft fan is installed in it, which is rotating at the moment Xiao took out a bundle of grenades. As long as she dropped it, she could blow up this air intake channel, but before that, she had to inform Xiao Yu. At this time, the Red Queen appeared in front of me. Captain Xiao, I suggest not directly destroying the air intake channel. It's hard to find. Why not destroy? Queen Red, do you have any better advice? Yes, once we blow up the gate of the Luhu base, the air intake channel becomes the only source of oxygen supply. If we blow up this place, the entire underground base will gradually lack oxygen. This process is actually not easy to detect. The people inside just feel dizzy and powerless, then slowly died of hypoxic shock, which failed to force them out. Xiao thought about it carefully. What the Red Queen said is very reasonable. Before the end of the world, some people like to burn charcoal stoves with doors and windows closed in winter. As a result, there are many examples of the death of the whole family due to hypoxia. Gradual hypoxia is a slow and difficult to detect process. People will only feel dizzy and unable to sleep, then BHCD, never wake up again. According to the captain's wishes, the purpose is to force the people inside out, and some people have to be arrested alive for interrogation. So the Red Queen is right. Blowing up the air intake channel will cause the people inside to slowly shock, and the purpose of being forced out will not be achieved. Our best way is to pile up rotting zombies in this warehouse, and then close the warehouse, leaving only a few ventilation windows. Finally, blowing up the exhaust ducts will do. Xiao thought for a while, cannot help but applaud. The exhaust channel was blown up, leaving only the intake channel. But the warehouse with the intake channel was full of rotting zombies. The air leading to the underground base is all foul odor and still can't get out. Then blow up the gate of the base, throw 200,000 rotten zombies in, and the stench on both sides will make the people inside run out in less than 2 days. Good idea. Wait a moment, I will give you an answer after I report to the Master 39. Okay, I'll wait for you. About 2 minutes later, Xiao Yu's voice appeared in Xiao's earphones. Chu Shui, just do as the Red Queen said, and fill this warehouse with zombie corpses. 35 I'll turn the corpses of 10,000 zombies for you right away. These words sounded a bit like transferring money before the end of the world. And Xiao thought it a little funny. Also, you block the doors and windows of the warehouse with masonry. A few days ago, Xiao, along with Xiao, took advantage of the decay and swept away a lot of building materials, including a lot of masonry. I know the captain. At this time, there were suddenly 10,000 zombie corpses in Xiao's space warehouse. It was Xiao Yu who used the space transfer ability to transfer it from his warehouse. It's really fast. Xiao smiled. Then, the bricks and stones are released from the space, and when they are released, they are neatly stacked one by one according to their own thoughts. It took about 10 minutes. The warehouse doors and windows of this air intake channel were closed. Of course, there are gaps in the bricks and stones, and they are not completely closed. In this way, the induced draft fan of the air intake channel can introduce the stench of zombies into the Luhu underground base. Xiao put on protective clothing, carry the oxygen cylinder on your back. Then the corpses of 10,000 zombies were released in batches one by one, and the warehouse was full. Finally turned around and walked out, closing the door, then block it with masonry. It's done. Hee. Thinking of the dark hands hiding in the underground base, you will be smoked to death immediately. An elegant smile appeared on Xiao's face. As the daughter of an international drug lord, Xiao's elegance just inherited her mother's genes. But it doesn't mean that she is a gentle and weak woman. She has been with her father since childhood. She is fascinated by underworld affairs, and her temperament is definitely not comparable to that of ordinary women. Just because she just returned to Yizishan and dared to fight Puma with a gun, you can see that she is definitely a ruthless person. Captain, I have put all the zombies' bodies in the warehouse. What's next? You keep looking for the exhaust passage. Okay, the other side at the Luhu underground base. Commander Feely is on a video call with Roth Connor. Sir, our base is really exposed. This time it's for sure. Just now, the people from Yizishan came outside the base and seemed to be looking for something, so I had to send a helicopter formation, but within 20 seconds, he was beaten down by 4 women. Roth Connor was taken aback. 4 women took down a helicopter formation in only 20 seconds. Your Excellency Commander. Do you think I'm too old to be deceived? No, sir, absolutely not. You can tell by looking at the surveillance replays. 35 Commander Felix, playing the surveillance footage just now, Roth Connor was more and more surprised, and finally shouted like a ghost, sniper rifle airplane. How did they do it? How can there be such a powerful sniper rifle? Even if it is an anti-equipment heavy sniper, it can't do it. Commander Philly sighed and said, Now we can't judge Yizishin with common sense. This base is very strange, and we have been completely exposed, so I apply for a full-scale war against Yizishin, all our chariots, warriors, tyrants, bio-warriors, all out. That's the only way to win. Raskana pondered for a moment, and finally nodded. Your Excellency Commander, I agree with your application and hope to hear good news from you. At this time in the video screen, Fei Li suddenly sniffed his nose. What flavor? It stinks. Then the commander rolled his eyes abruptly, spit it out with a wow, and scared Roth Connor, who was across the video, and took a few steps back. 165, 3 missiles take off, the maggots in the ground, die. At this time, in the entire underground base, not only Commander Felix was vomiting, but many people who couldn't bear it started to vomit. People who don't vomit aren't much better. One by one rolled his eyes and retched. What's the matter? It stinks. Where did the stench come from? It stinks thousands of times more than a dead mouse. I can't stand it anymore. Looks like it came in through the vent. It must be that the air outside is polluted. And quickly increase the power of the exhaust channel to discharge the odor. Also turn on the air purification power. The electromechanical room at the bottom of the base. A Chile maintenance worker received the order and immediately turned on the power of the exhaust fan. The powerful exhaust ability gradually discharges the odor. However, the exhaust fan discharges the odor. The air inlet channel continues to transport the stench into the base, and the stench is always endless. Even if the power of the air purifier is turned on to the maximum, it still cannot solve the problem. Damn, what the hell is going on? Bring me the gas mask. It didn't take long for Commander Philly to put on a gas mask. And finally he could no longer smell the disgusting stench. He also had time to analyze what happened. The stench must have been sent to the base by the induced draft fan from the intake channel, which is in the warehouse of the brewery, which was acquired by the sheriff before the end of the world. The purpose is to build the intake channel today. Only the woman who hit the helicopter with a sniper rifle has entered that warehouse. It is clear it was she who placed the rotting zombie corpse near the air intake, and there are quite a few. Bring me out the warehouse monitoring of the intake duct. Soon the warehouse picture of the brewery was released, and at a glance, it was full of dense zombie corpses. All are rotten. It's tingling to look at. Damn heretics. Now we have to send people out to clear the air intakes. There aren't that many gas masks in the base. Moreover, the gas mask is ineffective after more than 10 hours of use because the main component of the filter box of the mask is activated carbon, which has a strong adsorption capacity and can effectively filter harmful gases in the air. But activated carbon cannot adsorb infinitely. Generally, after more than 10 hours, once the adsorption capacity is saturated, it can no longer filter harmful gases. There is no assembly line for the production of gas masks at the base. Once the stock is used up, the consequences cannot be imagined. Pass my order, and all the fighters will assemble immediately and pull out our chariots, helicopters, and biochemical warriors. 35 Now we have been cornered. 99 We must fight back immediately. Commander Philly knew very well that if he wanted to go out to clean up those rotting zombies, he had to fight the people outside Yizishin with its small-scale encounters. It's better to start a full-scale war. Anyway, if you want to fight, just fight it thoroughly. Follow the commander's order. More than 5,000 people in the entire base mobilized and began to load the Vulcan machine guns of the chariots. The Warrior Tyrant also began to wear armor. Soldiers check weapons and ammunition and don body armor. Gunships are refueling. The supplementary ammunition is also replenished in time. Everyone got busy and prepared to go out and fight Yizishin to the death at this time. Tang Kexin was leading a team of infantry soldiers near an abandoned recycling plant when he suddenly smelled a strong stench in the air. It's the smell of rotting zombies, and so strong, the exhaust channel of the underground base should be here. In fact, this is also a part of the Red Queen's plan. Luhu is so big it is not easy to find the intake and exhaust passages in the surrounding area. Fortunately, the intake channel was found early. Xiao placed so many rotten zombies next to the air intake channel, and the stench of these corpses would definitely be discharged from the exhaust channel. That is to say, once you smell a bad odor somewhere, it means that it is likely to be an exhaust channel. Tang Kexin quickly ordered everyone to put on gas masks, then go to the abandoned recycling plant. More than 300 zombies inside were easily killed, and everyone quickly found the ventilation shaft like the air shaft. The diameter is about 20 meters. A powerful outlet fan is installed underground. You all stand back. Tang Kexin took out a grenade. This was not an ordinary grenade, but a purple quality grenade that exploded after Xiao Yu killed a super corpse queen yesterday. One may not be as powerful as a large yield missile, but it is definitely more powerful than anti-tank missiles, and it is no problem to blow up this exhaust shaft. The fuse was pulled, and a crisp sound sounded. Don't count the seconds either. Tang Kexin threw it directly into the shaft. and then quickly evacuated with everyone. Ask for flowers. Report, Captain. The exhaust channel of Luhu base has been blown up by me. The voice fell with a loud bang. The fire in the shaft shot into the sky, followed by a violent vibration. The entire shaft collapsed, and billowing smoke rose into the sky. Success. 99. At this time, the underground base of Luxalax has also found that the exhaust channel has been destroyed. Damn heretics. This is forcing us to fight to the death. You forced us. Everyone move me faster. The commander kept giving orders, but a base of more than 5,000 people, no matter how fast a mobilization speed was, could not be dispatched in a short period of time. Orders are issued layer by layer, then to the implementation. A process is required. The other side, Yizishan. After Xiao Yu received Han Kexin's report, he immediately asked the Red Queen to launch a missile attack. 2 bases, Beishishan Park Base, Luhu Base, all bombed me. Beishishan Park is too far away from us. 2 missiles were fired directly and it was completely blown up. Yes, Master. A 4-tube medium-range missile vehicle entered the launch preparation stage. The missile fuel has already been refilled by the logistics maintenance team, and the missiles and missile launchers have also been powered. The Red Queen's host acts as a radar, locking on 2 targets at the same time. The Red Queen will launch Zhuing into the missile launch command. Install the detonator immediately. Yes, the maintenance team, who had been standing beside the missile launcher, immediately installed electric detonators for the 2 missiles. All the main engine thermostat switches of the missile launcher are set to automatic gear. After being read, the main control room of the launch vehicle was flashing a rapid red light at this time. That means the missile is ready to be launched at any time. At this time, the 4-tube launcher slowly lifted up, aiming at the sky, and following Xiao Yu's order, launch. 35. Immediately after the red, the automatic system was controlled and the number 1 missile launch button was activated. A medium-range missile, carrying an earth-penetrating warhead, lifted off from the launch pad, and the huge thrust caused the ground to raise billowing smoke. Immediately after the number 2 missile, it was launched again with a conventional warhead. The 2 missiles were to bomb the Beishishan Park base. Finally, the number 3 missile took off, carrying an earth-penetrating warhead, and flew towards the Luhu base. There are still 2 chapters tonight. The last chapter is a bit late. The big guy who can't wait can open it tomorrow, again. 166. The garbage hiding in the ground. Enjoy the smell of rot. The 3 missiles lifted off slowly, rushed out of the atmosphere 3 minutes later, and then flew to the Beishi Park base and Luhu base. At this time, no one noticed that Yizishan fired the missile because within 200 kilometers in diameter, it has been shielded by the Red Queen and cannot be detected by any means. Even the Ross family headquarters, which owns the StarNet satellite system, is smeared in both eyes at this time. The Luxalax base is still in full swing. Everyone is ready to go. Just wait until the tyrant completes the installation procedure of the Vulcan machine gun. At this time, a frightened voice suddenly came from Fei's communication headset. Your Excellency, Commander. A missile is attacking our base. It's over. We're FE'd. Commander Felix was so frightened that he shivered, and immediately ordered the artificial intelligence to switch the radar warning screen to him. He finally knew why the people in the monitoring room had finished speaking, because the missile 343 has already reached the base. There is no doubt that this was transmitted by Yizishan, because Yizishan blocked all signals and the shielding range has spread to beside the base only 10 kilometers apart when the missile is detected. It also means that it has flown out of the shielding range and is diving down from the atmosphere. Dive down from an altitude of 150 kilometers. The speed is 4 kilometers per second. That is, it will hit the base in 37 seconds. No, it's already less than 37 seconds. It's really too late. No wonder the soldiers in the monitoring room had finished speaking, and now Commander Felix also realized that it was over at this time. The 6 major families, nearly 600 bases around the world, all observed the incident on the Luhu side. Not only that, even the 2 missiles that flew towards the base of Beishishan Park were also observed after they flew out of the shielding range. Beishishan Park base. It was the sub-base of the Sassoon family in the Eastern Kingdom. At this moment, the family patriarch Sassoon Elias was dumbfounded when he looked at the radar screen. So many bases. Why did you hit me? My base is so far away from Yizishan. Obviously there are close ones that don't fight, but I choose the far ones. Why is this? At this time, Sassoon Elias suddenly realized some time ago, during the Battle of the Corpse Tide, various ethnic groups supported the Luhu base, and the Beishishan Park base also sent helicopters to transport 500 blood corpses and then rested for a night at the Luhu base. Was it that night that exposed the base of Beishishan Park? Sassoon Elias had the urge to vomit blood, and he really lost his wife and lost his army. More than 30 seconds passed in a flash. The people from the 6 major families had just reacted, and the first missile landed precisely on the closed floor of the Luhu base after the Red Queen invaded the military navigation satellite. The control accuracy of the missile was almost perfect. Where to play? There will be no error at this time. The ground-penetrating warhead on the outer wall of the tungsten alloy spun wildly on the closed floor, and soon penetrated the reinforced concrete ground. Immediately after drilling through the thick steel plate, the warhead fell into the interior of the base, and at an altitude of 30 meters, the time the fuse was set, triggered the explosion mechanism with a loud bang. Suddenly the ground shook. The main entrance of the entire base collapsed in the explosion. A huge sinkhole was blown out, and the lift platform below was also blown up. The main entrance is completely destroyed. If you want to leave the base, you can only go through the secret passage. Quickly report how the damage to the base is. Report to your excellency, commander. The lift platform was blown up, and the gate of the base was blown out with a sinkhole with a diameter of 30 meters. We can't leave the base anymore. Fake. Seeing that everyone was ready to go, a missile blew up the lift platform, and the helicopter could not get out at all. The tyrant can't get out either. Chariots can't get out without helicopters. Chariots and tyrants, relying on the flesh and blood of the warriors, they went to fight directly with Yizishin. The commander felt that the odds of winning were almost zero because the tide of 200,000 corpses has been wiped out, and my own strength is not enough to stick between my teeth. How can I fight now that I have lost heavy weapons and air firepower? Fortunately, this is an earth-penetrating missile, which is mainly aimed at hitting underground targets, and its explosive power is much smaller and it didn't fall to the bottom to explode. Therefore, the important mechanical and electrical room and the circuit facilities of the base were not damaged. Order everyone, all stand by. It's not okay not to be on call now, and the secret channel is only known to the high level, and can't be told to others. Now there are pagans out there. To go out is to die. Staying at the base, you can wait for support. As long as Patriarch Ross has not given up on Luhu, he will definitely find a way to support here in the H province outside the ancient capital of the Great Plains. There is also the base of the Ross family, including the Morgan family and the Berg family bases. Quick, connect me to headquarters. I want to speak to Mr. Riss Connor. In fact, the commander's psychology is also not at the bottom. If Roth Connor wanted to support Luxalax, he should have sent someone to support it long ago, and he would not have asked Luxalax to fight Yizishin to the death. It is clear Roth Connor doesn't want more bases exposed. This is also tantamount to giving up Luxalax, but Feely was not reconciled, and he had to try to see if he could get support no matter what. At this time the 2 missiles that flew to Beishishin Park also landed one after another, and the first ground-penetrating missile exploded the closed floor of the base. Then the second missile fell to the bottom and exploded. All the important facilities of the entire Beishishin Park base were bombed. The base was paralyzed, and the damaged area reached 60%. Not even the most basic satellite calls can be made. Losing the satellite signal connection means losing control of the brain domain chip. At this moment, all the blood corpses in the base have become uncontrolled bloodthirsty monsters. They bite when they see it. Crazy to drain everyone's blood. The people of the Sassoon family finally tasted their own evil. In contrast, the people at Luhu base are much better. At least there is no power outage, the satellite signal is operating normally, and the tyrant is still within the control range. The other side, Xiao Yu is taking a helicopter and rushing to the Luxalax base. This helicopter was driven by Bai Jin when she was escaping, and now she is also the one who is driving the plane along with Xiao Yu or Xiaoran, Tingting, Anna, Xiao, and Yu Xiaojin. The reason why Xiao Yu took them because each of 2.3 is a sharpshooter named by the god of death. The next step is to snipe the people who escaped from the base. Also catch some high-level people alive. Xiao Yu can't do it alone, master. The zombies on the road ahead have been cleaned up by the soldiers of the infantry army, and the helicopter can land there. 35 soon Bai Jin landed the helicopter on the road. Xiao Yu asked the team members to join Bai Kai and Nigan and the others first, while he performed the Qing Qi Gong and flew to the Xiankang where the Luhu base was bombed. Look down at a glance. Since the base lift was blown up, you could see the bottom of the base, and even some panicked figures. Haha, a group of maggots, panic after being exposed. Next time, you have a good time. 95 As soon as Xiao Yu raised his hand, in the space warehouse, endless rotting corpses fell into the base like a downpour. 167, Shangwen Kiao is lonely, won't that man come? The stench of zombie corpses kept falling into the underground base. The entire lift platform has been connected to the bottom of the base, and now the platform has been blown up, and the lift channel has become a huge shaft. which is just used to stack corpses. Take the number of corpses Xiao Yu is currently hoarding. It's alright to fill it all up at this time. Commander Philly had just ended the video conference with Roth Connor. He sat on the sofa in a decadent manner. His mood could not be calmed down, because Patriarch Ross asked him to continue fighting with the people from Yizishan this time. However, the tactics were different. The previous tactic was a frontal fight, now it is a defensive counterattack. In short, everyone huddled in the base and did not go out, waiting for the people from Yizishan to come in. As long as they dared to come in, they could catch the turtle in the urn. There are many agencies in the base. It's a dead end. Mr. Ross, you have completely abandoned us. Commander Philly knew very well that Roth Connor wanted to drain the last strength of the Luhu base, hiding in the base and not going out. If the other party hits another missile and blows up the base's electrical facilities, everyone has to finish the game. Besides, outside the air intake channel of the base, 17 dead bodies of zombies were piled up. A foul odor permeates the base. The exhaust duct was blown up again. There are not enough gas masks, and the days ahead will be hellish. Those heretics must have done it on purpose, want to use the stench to drive us out. Hateful. Pass my order to temporarily close the intake passage, only 10 minutes of every hour. Although the consequences of doing so will lead to lack of oxygen in the base, it can still maintain normal supply and demand when it is turned on for 10 minutes every hour, at least not shock due to hypoxia. The most important thing is that opening the air intake channel for 10 minutes every hour will greatly reduce the entry of foul gas. At this time there was a sudden uproar outside, and Commander Philly thought he was attacked again, so he hurried out to take a look. Maid, what is this? Looking from a distance, I saw the shaft of the lifting platform, and at this moment, a dense number of zombie corpses fell from the sky. Philly was wearing a gas mask and rushed over to check. At this time, Dr. Abraham followed closely. Lord Commander, what happened again? I don't know either, but I have a hunch that it's not a good thing. The two came to the edge of the shaft and looked up. The dense zombie corpses fell down, obscuring their sight, but occasionally they could see a man above from the gap between the corpses. He stretched out his palm, then countless corpses, like a conjuration, kept falling from the sky. Commander Felix's scalp suddenly felt numb. I know, it's him, the man who can fly. He can touch it and make things disappear. I didn't know the principle before, but now it seems that maybe he is a magician. Those things that disappeared should be sent to another magical space by him. These corpses were released from that magical space. Dr. Abraham was a little disbelieving. He is a scientist, a materialist, and has always sneered at the unrealistic fantasy of magic, but now I see it with my own eyes, and he couldn't find any reason to refute it, which greatly impacted his view of science. Are science and theology really the same thing? At this time, Commander Philly suddenly realized, I understand everything. Using zombie corpses, stacking them in the warehouse of the intake passage, and then blowing up the exhaust passage, and now throwing so many zombie corpses into the shaft of the lift platform. The purpose of Yizishan is to block us with the corpses of zombies. The stench will permeate the entire base. We can't get rid of the stench yet. We can only keep bringing it in 35 at that time. Everyone can't bear it and can only be forced to go out through the secret passage. Then their satellite surveillance can spot us. It's vicious. After hearing this, Dr. Abraham's face changed greatly. If this is the case, it will be over. There are not many gas masks in the base for the time being. There is still one available, however. The use time of gas masks is only 10 hours. With the base's inventory, there will be a shortage of gas masks starting tomorrow at most. Who can stand the stench then, especially now, with so many corpses thrown in? The entire underground base will become a gas field. Your Excellency Commander, the only way at present is to drag. I got news yesterday that due to the strong satellite monitoring capabilities of Yizishan, the 6 major families have begun to develop new biochemical warriors. 99. It is said that the chameleon gene was extracted and combined with the biochemical warrior. As long as we persist until the new biochemical warriors are born, the family bases in H province can send troops to rescue us. Roth Connor also told Commander Philly about this just now, but no guarantee is given. After all, time is running out, and a new type of biochemical warrior must be developed, and it is the stealth ability of a chameleon. Even if the Zile people have 100 years of accumulation of biological gene research and development technology, it may not be possible to develop it in a short period of time. The key is that the Luhu base cannot last that long. Your Excellency Commander, if the gas mask is not enough, we will use wet towels to deal with it. As long as we reach the headquarters to develop biochemical warriors with stealth capabilities, we will have hope of being rescued. Commander Philly nodded. For now, that seems to be the only way outside the base. As Xiao Yu kept throwing the corpse into the elevator shaft, it gradually accumulated more and more. And finally it overflowed the base, but okay, the corpses have also been put out, and they are full of gems. You can withdraw. Xiao Yu immediately performed Qinggong and flew over to join the team members. 343 Captain, what shall we do next? Wait for a rabbit? Xiao Yu nodded. Yes, they won't last long. We just need to stay near Luhu and be ready at any time. Find a small island to camp tonight. The Red Queen monitors the ground at any time. Whether there are zombies approaching the island or people from the Luhu base come out, they must notify us in time. 5 Good host. Xiao Yu was very relieved about this tactic. Those who haven't smelled the smell of the corpses don't know that the zombies stink when they are still alive. It stinks even more when it's dead and rotten. The underground base is currently in a closed environment. No matter what methods are used behind the scenes, it will take 3 days at most to run out. If it wasn't for catching him alive, Xiao Yu wouldn't have to be so troublesome, but in order to interrogate more information about the behind-the-scenes gangster, I can only spend a little more time this time. And it will be much easier to encounter this kind of thing in the future. Destroy it directly with missiles. The other side, the underground shelter of the ancient capital military region Shangwen Kaiokio, and a dozen soldiers have been guarding the monitoring room today. We promised to come and save us in 5 days. Will he come? It's getting dark now, and I don't think he will come. That man should just be talking casually. 5 Hey, I don't blame him. The outside is full of zombies. It's too dangerous. Shangwen Kiaoki outside, looking a little lonely. 168, Alice, don't blame me. You forced me to eat you. Although Shangwen Kaiokio thought that the man would not come to save them, however, she still can't pass this idea to other people. She hopes that the people in the underground shelter can always maintain hope. As long as there is hope, the heart will not collapse. No matter how many believers, as long as their hearts are broken, they will inevitably fall because of it. There are only 3 female soldiers in the underground shelter. If everyone falls, I am afraid that they will not be able to escape. Bad luck. Everyone cheered up, and you all heard it before. The violent explosion and the shock it caused were obviously a missile explosion. 39. The explosion point should be on the outskirts of the ancient capital. Maybe there was a major battle outside that we didn't know about, and the man was delayed because of it, so he didn't come to save us in time. But as long as he's alive, even when he died, he told the people around him our news before he died. There is still hope for us to be saved. Shangwen Kaiokio's words were like a dose of stimulant. In the originally dead monitoring room, a dozen soldiers suddenly regained their energy. Yes, why are we so pessimistic? 99. That man must have spoken out about us being trapped, and as long as other people know, there's hope for us, and a little more. 35. If the missile explosion this time was launched by the forces that the man belonged to, we would not care whether it was a military force or a civil force. At least it is certain that they have the ability to launch missiles. There are so many missiles, armored vehicles, tanks, self-propelled artillery, rockets, fighter jets, helicopters, and various weapons and ammunition processing lines in our military region. And they have no reason not to take these things, so sooner or later they will come to clean up the zombies here. We just need to keep hope and wait here in peace. 35. Shangwen Kaiokio glanced at the other female soldier with relief, and she said what she had not finished. This female soldier is also very smart. A key point came to mind so quickly. There are so many heavy equipment in the ancient capital military region, as well as the military material reserve, which are all weapons and ammunition, as well as the raw materials for the production of weapons and ammunition. No force can let this go. Her only concern was that the man should not belong to the military. If it was just a powerful ordinary survivor, he would not necessarily come to rescue these unrelated people. After all, only soldiers and soldiers can have that kind of inseparable feeling. But these words cannot be said. Gradually the sky darkened, night fell, and the zombies outside the shelter began to roar wildly. In the past few days, there have been more zombies outside the gate and back door, almost full. Fortunately, the compressed biscuits in the shelter, as well as drinking water and canned food, are enough to support them for a long time. At this time, a soldier suddenly said, "Come over here, the Red Queen is broadcasting again." She said that Yizishan has eliminated the corpse tide now, and the nearby survivors are invited to flee immediately. Everyone in the shelter knows the Yizishan base. They all want to flee. It's just that I can't get out. At this time, the voice on the radio continued, "Hello, survivors in the ancient capital military region, we will come to rescue you soon. Please stay for a while longer and maintain a positive and optimistic spirit." Ha ha ha, the soldiers were even more excited. "I'll just say, we'll be saved." 99. Now you can rest assured. 35. Seeing the sun again soon. In fact, The people in the underground shelter have also received other broadcasts, including a broadcast from the northern military region, and they have established a base and there are many survivors, but the distance is too far, not to mention the inability to contact each other. Even if contacted, it is impossible to save the people from the ancient capital military region. Far cannot quench near thirst, have to rely on a finger mountain. I don't know if any man who can fly is a man with a finger on the mountain, Shangwen Kaiokio said to himself. The other side, it is located in Sam's empire. At this time when the sun is rising, and it is 12 hours away from the eastern land, Alice walked out of the room. Outside the door were the corpses of more than a dozen zombies, all of which were dismembered by her last night. Alice didn't smear the blood of the zombies on herself because she thought of another way. Where you are standing, use the corpses of zombies to cover up the human odor left by your clothes, then spray your body with perfume. As long as the zombies don't see themselves, they can't find themselves through smell. Oh, this perfume is too strong. Alice frowned, then got on the locomotive and drove into the distance. She had no destination. Every time I see a survivor, the urge to cannibalize is born. Alice can only choose to wander alone. She didn't know what had happened to her body, but fortunately, in addition to the urge to eat people, her fighting power had also undergone earth-shaking changes. This was something I never thought about before. Although she is good at fighting and using cold weapons, before the end of the world, she was a security executive of a business under the name of Sam's Empire's Morgan family. But Alice is very aware of her weight. It's no problem hitting 2 or 3 ordinary men. Where is it like now? Facing the siege of 20 or 30 zombies, you can easily counter-kill. So Alice tries to pick as remote a place as possible. The more remote, the fewer zombies. As long as the number is not too many, she can handle it. The only thing to worry about is the thugs. Everyone in Sam has guns, which is not a good thing for her. As the locomotive galloped, Alice turned on the radio channel. She knew that in the Far East country, there was a base called Yizishan, and the AI Red Queen would often broadcast radio. There is a lot of information about zombies, including how to avoid zombies. They all know from the Red Queen's mouth. It's a pity that the Eastern Kingdom is too far away, otherwise, Alice must take a look, just take a look from a distance. She does not dare to join any organization, for fear that she will not be able to control the urge to eat people. At this time, Ellie's locomotive suddenly had a flat tire, and she almost fell from the car. Fortunately, the locomotive was not driving fast and was braked. Alice looked back. There are actually a lot of ground nails on the road. It seems that someone has deliberately sprinkled them. She pulled out her guns alertly, and glanced around with cold eyes. At this time, a group of men with guns walked out of the woods. And hey, babe 99, you better not be impulsive and put the gun down immediately. We just want to play with you. 35, relax, we are gentle. Ha ha ha. There were about a dozen men laughing wildly. At this moment, a faint smile appeared on Alice's stern face. She suddenly became very hungry and looked at the dozen or so men in the distance, just like she saw the delicacies of mountains and seas before the end of the world. She wanted to eat so much, she ate it hard. Alice whistled. Then he threw away his 2 guns and walked towards the group of men. She licked her tongue as she walked. I can't wait to enjoy the delicious food, and I keep saying, this is what you asked for. This is your own death, don't blame me. 31. 169, Super Soldier Alice, never try to control me. Alice walked towards the opposite thug step by step. There was a smile on her face, but there was no smile in her eyes, and a cruel light flashed at the same time. Located in the desert casino, the headquarters of the Morgan family, the patriarch Morgan Freeman is watching the surveillance screen. Alice had already been injected with T-virus serum by him and blends perfectly, and a brain chip has been implanted under her cerebral cortex. But the chip has not been activated. He needs to let Alice grow up first and at a critical moment, control her again and become the super soldier of the Morgan family. Looking at her expression, she finally can't stand it anymore and wants to eat people. The super soldier born from the T-virus serum is suffering from the backlash of the T-virus all the time, and sooner or later will become a man-eating monster. But just be a man-eating monster, the growth rate will be faster and faster, because from that moment on, the super soldier will tear apart the shackles of morality and human relations and become an inhuman killing machine. Combat power will undergo earth-shaking changes. However, this process must be gradual and voluntary, and cannot be forced. So whether it is Alice controlled by the Morgan family, it is still Yi Kimin who was controlled by Lu Hu base. At the beginning they were not imprisoned, but were quietly released to grow up freely until they broke their shackles and became killing machines. Qi Meng is lucky when he was brought back to Yizishan after 343 days. When he formed a team, he was forced out of the chip under the cerebral cortex by the system. It also repairs the anti-phagocytic effect of T-virus serum in the body. Alice was not so lucky. As she walked towards the thugs step by step, the hunger became stronger and stronger, and the other party immediately raised the gun and aimed it. "Hey baby, I saw the knife behind you and threw it away together. I don't want to be wary of your knife when it's cool for a while." Alice moved on at the same time. He pulled out the 2 dog-leg scimitars on his back and turned his wrists gently. "Bitchy, hurry up and put down the knife, or I'll shoot." Alice continued to walk forward. The smile on her face became more gorgeous, and her eyes became colder, as if she was looking at a group of dead people. The other party seemed to realize that something was wrong. This woman was holding a knife, kept laughing, and kept walking forward. It was definitely not a good thing. The 2 sides were less than 10 meters apart. "Shoot and kill her." As soon as a thug said his words, before he could raise his gun, he hit the forward with a dog-leg knife. I saw a shadow flash. Alice had already rushed into the crowd and pulled out her own knife from the forward of the thug's brush. The sharp dog-leg knife kept slashing, and the thug was killed by surprise. 4 people fell in an instant. Alice threw 2 dog-leg knives, one into a thug's heart and the other slashing a thug's throat. There are 6 people left at this time. The thugs didn't care about their teammates, and fired directly at Alice, only to see her roll on the spot and pick up a submachine gun. The dense rain of bullets instantly killed the 3, then dodged behind the tree, threw away the submachine gun that fired the bullets, and took out 3 darts from the outside of the thigh. He let out a sigh of relief. At this time, there were 3 thugs left, and their guns were locked on the tree where Alice was hiding. "Bitchy, get out quickly, killed so many of us, oh damn, I must hang you up and flay you." Just then, Alice's figure flashed out from behind the tree. The 3 darts smashed through the air, hitting the last 3 thugs one after another at the same time. One of the thugs shot Alice. When she was hit by a dart, she looked at the place where the bullet was shot, in her thigh. Damn. Alice pulled out a dart again, then gritted her teeth and picked out the bullet. Who? The severe pain almost made her faint. However, Alice simply bandaged the wound and was not worried about infection, because this was not the first time she had been injured. "Every time I will fully recover by the next day. Not even scars are left." The most serious one was when a zombie bit her on the back of her neck. She thought she was dead, but she recovered miraculously the next day, also without any scarring. Alice knew there was something wrong with her body, but couldn't find the reason at this time. She came to a corpse, and her strong hunger drove her to tear off a piece of flesh and blood. The mob just died. The blood was still warm, and she could even smell the deliciousness, but the mouth that opened did not bite down for a long time. "Quick bite, quick." Morgan Freeman looked at the surveillance screen, urging in his heart, as long as he bites down, this super soldier will transform. But in the end Alice restrained her impulse. She quickly retrieved her weapon, and then ran away frantically. The locomotive had a flat tire, but she found the off-road vehicle of the thugs, closed the door, and continued to wonder. Morgan looked at the surveillance screen and sighed regretfully. At this time, Mark, who had been by his side, said, "Mr. Morgan, perhaps this super soldier is more valuable to us if he doesn't eat people." "What?" Morgan Freeman stared at Mark. "What do you think?" "Let me hear it." 35 Mark said, "Because the Yizishan base of Dongfeng Kingdom has mastered satellite monitoring capabilities, we are not sure whether the monitoring scope includes the northern continent, so we don't dare to risk going out. But according to the content of the last Hexagon meeting, the most important thing at the moment is to find the Black Weapons launch base. We have a lot of launch bases in Sam country. There must be survivors who have mastered the launch order. Since we dare not venture out, why not let this super soldier look for us? 99 Even if a finger mountain can really monitor the world, they don't suspect us when they see Alice." 35 Morgan frowned for a moment, thinking that Mark was right. Rather than get a dehumanized killing machine, let Alice go to find the survivors of the Black Weapons launch base. If found at that time, it only needs to launch a black bullet at the Great Plains, the ancient capital of the Eastern Kingdom, and the power of destroying the sky and destroying the earth is enough to level a finger mountain. And he has mastered the black weapon. It can also shock the other 5 families, and even become the chief of the Hexagonal Council is not a bad idea. Mark, this matter is up to you. Immediately activate the chip under Alice's cerebral cortex and direct her to the Black Weapon launch base. 35 Okay, Mr. Morgan. At this time, Alice was driving, and suddenly felt a strange message in her mind, and this message guided her to a place she never thought to go. Oh, damn it, what the hell happened? Alice knew that something must be wrong with her body. Her consciousness is clear, but the message in her brain, like an irresistible order, instructed her to turn around immediately. No, I don't want to turn around. Something must have happened to me. I cannot be controlled by this order. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. 170. Female Special Forces Tan Yao. Female Special Forces Nakasha. Alice concentrated her mind and tried her best to resist the instructions in her mind. At the same time, in the testing room of the Morgan family headquarters, Mark looked at the information from Alice's brain chip, and suddenly cried out in surprise. Oh, hell, is her willpower so strong that she can resist the chip's orders? The second-generation brain domain chip belongs to forcibly modifying the instructions in the brain, and it is subconsciously modified impossible to find, and Alice actually resisted with willpower. Even if she didn't notice the existence of the chip, she probably suspected that she had been controlled. The most convincing is the garbled characters on the detection instrument. The garbled code is Alice's willpower, the uncontrollable information generated by the collision with the chip instructions. But okay, there are only very few garbled codes, and chip instructions still dominate. Alice was driving at this time. She desperately wanted to stop, but the instructions in her mind kept urging her to go to a black weapon launch base. She doesn't know where to go or what to do yet, because the instructions in the brain did not give a hint. But the more this unknown guidance, the more insecure she felt. She hated the feeling of being at the mercy of her. I have to figure out a way to get out of this grip. At this time, a rollover car appeared on the road, but it did not block the road. The instructions in her brain made Alice turn the steering wheel a little, and then rushed over. Alice knew that this was an opportunity. She desperately resisted the instructions in her mind, grabbed the steering wheel tightly, and slammed her car into another car. Whenever a car crashes, she will be forced to stop. Alice gritted her teeth and let out a low growl in her throat. As her will continued to resist the instructions in her mind, she gradually felt a tingling sensation in the back of her head. The back of the head? Why does the back of my head sting the more I resist? Before Alice could think about it, her car hit another car that rolled over with a loud bang. The off-road vehicle was knocked out of shape, the airbag was deployed, and Alice's brain was severely shaken. At this very moment, in the underground base testing room of the Morgan family headquarters, Mark saw a screen full of garbled characters on the testing instrument. Oh, damn it, this woman is crazy. Mark knew that the speed of the car just now was too fast, and the shock caused by the impact caused the chip in Alice's brain to temporarily lose contact with the brain nerves because of the shock. However, with the speed of recovery of the Super Zero Warrior, it only takes 10 minutes at most, and the brain can be reconnected when it returns to normal. At this time, in the off-road vehicle, Alice shook her head, opened the door and walked out. Get rid of the two zombies at will. She felt it carefully, and now the instructions in her brain have disappeared. And it disappeared at the moment of the car accident. Alice was puzzled. Why did the back of the head tingle when I resisted the instructions in my brain with my will? She touched the spot with her hand. It feels a little different in the hand, and it is not clear exactly why it is different, but it is a very abnormal feeling. Alice hesitated. Then he pulled out a small knife, stuffed a piece of cloth in his mouth, and cut the back of his head with the tip of the knife. What? She let out a low growl because of the pain, but she was used to it. Since the end of the world, she has been injured many times. Each time it healed the next day. That's why she dared to cut her scalp with a knife at this time. Mark looked at the surveillance screen and kept cursing. Fake. This bitchy? Is she crazy? How did she know the brain chip was in that location? Damn it, I have to inform Mr. Morgan soon. Alice cut a small mouth on the scalp of the back of her head, and then touched a soft, special thing. This thing is connected to its own nerves. She endured the excruciating pain and pulled it out to see that it was a flake much smaller than a fingernail. I don't know what material it is made of. There are still some incomprehensible textures on it, but it is obvious that the instructions in the brain should be sent out by this thing. Who installed this under my scalp? Alice was not impressed at all. She simply stopped thinking about it for a while. She went back to the car to pick up her weapon, and the most urgent thing at the moment was to find another car, but thankfully no longer need to be controlled. Western Continent, Ross family headquarters base. Roth Connor came to the biochemical gene research and development room, and beside him was Dr. Willis, the chief scientist of the base. In the cage of the workbench, there are more than a dozen chameleons. Willis was consulting the information shared by the 5 families, and Roth Connor asked eagerly, Doctor, is the research on new biochemical warriors promising? Willis nodded and shook his head again. Mr. Ross, in theory, it is possible to develop stealth biochemical warriors, but it is very difficult. This is genetic technology. Even if we have hundreds of years of experience in the field of biological research, it is impossible to complete it within a certain period of time. Therefore, there is basically no hope of rescuing the Luxalake's base. Philly and Abraham couldn't last that long. Roth Connor wasn't angry either because he was already mentally prepared. Willis' answer was expected. The Morgan family he was worried about now because of the plan finalized at the last meeting, in addition to studying stealth biochemical warriors. In order to achieve the purpose of avoiding Yizishan satellite monitoring also identified the most important things: find black weapons. The headquarters of the Morgan family is in Sam's Empire, a country with too many black weapons. If let his people find it first, I am afraid that it will threat to his position as the chief of the Hexagon Conference. However, the Ross family has 120 branch bases all over the world, whether it is the Sam Empire or the Northern Snow Country. There are many bases. The Sam Empire and the Northern Snow Country are the countries with the most black weapons in both countries. The Ross family controls super soldiers, and they have not eaten people yet. Reason is still there. It is the best person to find a black weapon launch base in my life. Immediately activate the brain chips of Tanya and Nakisha, and ask them to find the black weapon launch base. Tanya is in Sam's Empire. She is a beautiful woman with blonde wavy short hair and an extremely hot body. Before the full outbreak of the T-virus, she was the captain of a special forces team in the Sam Empire, good at double guns, skillful. Later, after the T-virus broke out, he was quietly injected with T-virus serum and became a super soldier. Now he is more powerful. Natasha is an agent in the Northern Snow Country with long brown wavy hair, delicate features, and a curvaceous figure. After the outbreak of the T-virus, he was quietly injected with T-virus serum by the Ross family, and now he has become a controlled super serum warrior. Of course, neither Tanya nor Nakisha knew that they had been injected with T-virus serum, not even knowing that a chip has been implanted in the brain. The two of them, one in the Sam Empire and the other in the Snow Country, the two countries with the most black weapons in the world, performed the same task respectively. Look for survivors who have mastered the launch order. Because it is inconvenient to appear the names of the same people, Tanya and Nakisha, everyone can make up the relevant characters by themselves. And 171, can't hold back, I'm coming out. The next day outside the Luxalake's base, Xiao Yu continued to squirt with people, and it was boring to have nothing to do all day. I can only communicate with the team members in depth to promote feelings. There is a Red Queen to monitor every move. There is no danger in broad daylight. Xiao Yu sent all the chainmail soldiers of the infantry regiment back to guard the base, and then sent the garrison over. This is a trade-off of pros and cons. The people under the Luhu base must be using hot weapons, the chainmail soldiers of the infantry regiment, and they will not play a role here. So 600 guard troops were left together with the 400 mobile troops of Baikai and Nigan and Yikishu. The 400 garrison troops rushed over a total of 1,400 fighters. Whether it's the entourage or the guards, they all have 2 times the shooting talent. In the long-term training, not to mention the ability to penetrate Yang with 100 steps, at least hit the moving target, the gun hide or no problem. 3, 4, 3. After all, the people at Luhu base are humans. Just hit the body, no headshots needed. Today Xiao Yu also did another thing. He put away all 10 gunships that were shot down. In fact, helicopters do not usually explode when they fall. Generally speaking, civilian helicopters have a chance of burning, and many possibilities were considered at the beginning of the design of armed helicopters. As long as it is not hit by a bazooka, an interceptor missile after a fall, it is a big deal, and the damage is severe, and the possibility of explosion is very low. Xiao Yu put away these armed helicopters, thinking that there might be a chance for a magic transformation in the future. The magic modification machine can only modify vehicles at first. After you reach level 3, you can refit the ship, and you may unlock new functions in the future, and it is also possible to refit the aircraft anyway. Put it away first. It doesn't matter even if it is deformed. If it can really be modified, the damaged parts will be automatically repaired, just like the modified chariot of the infantry army. After removing the 30mm cannon of the chariot, such a large hole was still repaired by the machine tool. Gradually, when it got dark, the people from Luhu base did not come out. Xiao Yu didn't panic either. There must be a stench in the base right now, and sooner or later the people inside can't hold back, and at most someone will come out tomorrow. In fact, Xiao Yu still underestimated how stinky the corpses of the zombies are after rotting from beginning to end. He never smelled it up close because I have been wearing protective clothing and carrying an oxygen cylinder. I have smelled it from a distance. What's more, the base is currently closed. Forget the smell guaranteed pregnancy. From yesterday to now, it has been more than 29 hours, and the gas masks of Luhu base have long since lost their function. Now everyone is covering their noses with wet towels. Even so, it still can't resist the stench that makes you roll your eyes, especially when you're sleeping. I can't sleep with my nose covered even if it is really unbearable. Occasionally after falling asleep, The wet towel accidentally falls off, or it dries, and even the only antivirus effect cannot be achieved and then wake up again. What a torture. Commander Philly looked at the tyrants in the base, who were bio-warriors, completely immune to the stench. Now I am envious if he was also a biochemical warrior. He probably wouldn't have to endure this kind of torment. In fact, he also thought about sending all the 50 tyrants in the base out to fight with a man who is guarding outside, but think carefully, the odds are almost zero, not to mention the man's bizarre ability, which can make the tyrant stick his head out and let the other side chop it off. Just those women with sniper rifles are not easy to deal with. It was able to shoot down an armed helicopter more than 2,000 meters away with a sniper rifle, and the gunshot exploded the driver's head. That's the level of shooting. Even sending 1,000 tyrants is useless, as long as they keep the distance apart. They can slaughter like a roll call. Can only hold on for now. Go to the headquarters to develop a new type of biochemical warrior and come to rescue the Luhu base. But some people couldn't stand it. In a dormitory of the base, 5 high-level personnel are having a secret meeting. They all covered their noses and spoke in a humming sound, but they were generally still audible. No way, I can't stay any longer for a quarter of an hour. I want to go out, even if I get killed. I want to go out and get some fresh air. Vomit. Just after saying a few words, the officer was so excited that the wet towel slipped off, and he smelled the airy stench, and immediately retched. The officer quickly picked up the wet towel. Cover your nose again. This makes me feel a little better, but just because I don't retching, doesn't mean I can't smell the stench. Let's escape and leave the secret passage. This place is not for people. We have been abandoned by the headquarters, and the commander is just comforting himself. In fact, he is also clear that no one will come to rescue us. These people are all high-level executives of Luhu base. I know too well the sleazy style of the Shirai people. It is impossible for the headquarters to risk the discovery of other foundations and send people to them, since they have been abandoned. That also executes a shit command. Almighty Lord, we have not betrayed you. We are just looking for a chance to survive. You will surely forgive us. The Shiraites are fanatical in their beliefs. At any time, the Lord will be placed in a sacred position. In fact, they fled. They did not betray the master of their faith. They just betrayed the Ross family of the Shire. The 3 took their weapons and equipment and immediately walked out of the room. They are high-level officers, and naturally know the secret passage of the base, and since it is a secret passage, there must be no guards to guard it because the entire base, only less than 10 people know about it. Sending guards to guard it will make people suspicious. One of the Shirai officers had the keys. He opened the secret door, walked in with the other 2, and closed the secret door gently. Okay, we're free. The secret passage was still filled with a disgusting stench. Let's go quickly. After we go out, we will crawl on the ground. I hope the satellite monitoring resolution of Yizishan is not high. As long as we climb slowly, there is a high probability that we will not be discovered. The 3 quickly ran out of the passage. There was another door in front, and after opening it, they immediately fell down and slowly crawled forward on the ground. Finally came out. Fortunately, the nearby zombies have been cleaned up. Very safe. Oh, it's amazing. The fresh air. I actually feel a sense of happiness. Never felt that fresh 2.3 air would be so precious. The Lord bless us to leave safely. The 3 people unknowingly left the vicinity of the secret passage. They had been tense all the time, and did not relax until after climbing for half an hour. Looks like we haven't been found. That is really good, but don't take it lightly. We continue to climb, a little slower as higher-ranking officers of the Sheila. They have weapons and armor like exoskeleton suits that can resist the bite of zombies. The lethal part can withstand small caliber rifle fire. The odds of surviving outside would be much better, so they are not in a hurry, and strive to be safe, even if they climb for a night, as long as they are not found. However, Hong Hao, who has been closely monitoring them, has discovered them. Master, I saw them. 3 people, in weird battle suits, crawling on the ground. 172. Nuclear fusion power generation technology. Luhu base must be mine. Xiao Yu is exchanging feelings with Xiaoran. Hearing that there were 3 people from Luhu base, they quietly climbed out, so they quickly got up and walked out of the tent. After the red, show me the surveillance screen. 35. Good master. A 3D stereoscopic image appeared in front of me. Although the image was very dark, after being identified by the synthetic aperture satellite, the 3 figures crawling on the ground could still be clearly seen. These 3 people are very smart and know how to avoid satellite surveillance. I don't know where they got out, or when they got out, but it appeared near the Luhu base, and wearing such a weird suit. It's obviously not a local survivor, but most likely someone from the Luhu base. The Red Queen explained to Xiao Yu. There was a sense of remorse in his tone, but Xiao Yu didn't blame her. In fact, Although the synthetic aperture satellite can detect the night scene, it is not omnipotent. And someone needs to observe it to find the target. Even after the Red Queen is artificial intelligence, but she is not an omniscient and almighty god. She needs to constantly identify and judge the entire Luhu area, also responsible for broadcasting broadcasts to survivors around the world. In addition, it is necessary to closely monitor the possible bases in Dongfeng Kingdom 17, so it is impossible to cover everything, but at least 3 of them were found. Xiao Yu immediately woke up all the team members, as well as the guards and entourage, let them leave the island, and listen to his orders at any time. After a few touches, Xiao Yu used Qi Qing Gong to catch up with the 3 people who were crawling on the ground. Humph, 35 the maggots hiding in the ground, can't you finally bear it? Get out, I have found you. The 3 Zili officers were secretly rejoicing, and they were about to climb out of the Luhu area, but a figure stopped in front of them. One of the officers immediately drew his gun and fired. Bang bang bang. The bullet hit Xiao Yu, except for the first bullet, which was blocked by the hardened attribute, and all the bullets behind him pierced through his body. Hiss, it feels like the body is leaking air. No pain was felt because the bullet penetrated so quickly. At this time, Xiao Yu's body was punched through several bullet holes, but he didn't feel that he was seriously injured. The physical fitness was strengthened by 42 times, and the health strength was increased by 1000%. Even if Xiao Yu's head was chopped off, it can survive at least half an hour, just a few bullets, not to mention scratching the itch. Anyway, there will be no danger to life. Xiao Yu continued to walk forward while casting super healing on himself. The bullet holes in his body healed at a speed visible to the naked eye. The 3 Shelley officers were dumbfounded. Oh, fake, who is he? Why did I empty a magazine and he didn't fall down? It doesn't seem like he was injured at all, and he is still moving forward step by step. Quick, let's shoot him to death together. Except for the Holy Master, no one can survive. The 3 officers took out their carbines and shot at Xiao Yu. The dense bullets pierced through his body non-stop. Xiao Yu's body was beaten into sieve. However, while being pierced and healed, Xiao Yu was like an immortal god of war, walking in front of the 3 of them step by step. Click. The 3 people's carbines were all out of bullets. Looking at the man who was still standing in front of him, the Shelley officer was dumbfounded. In Xiao Yu's calm voice, he said with a hint of sternness, change the magazine and keep shooting. Although the 3 Shelley people are foreigners, they have been in the Eastern Kingdom all the time, so they can understand what Xiao Yu is saying. Now they are stunned, not to mention changing the magazine. Even the gun in his hand is unstable. Xiao Yu decided not to play, so he used T-virus control to bring these 3 people back first. But after the skill is released, Xiao Yu found out that it didn't work. How could this be? All the survivors have the T-virus in their bodies. The reason why they are not corpse now is because the T-virus is constantly strengthening the host's body. After the physical fitness becomes stronger, it automatically evolves the ability to be immune to T-virus. But there is a T-virus in every survivor. That's for sure. That being the case, Kimeng's skill T-virus control can control zombies and survivors. Are these 3 people out of control? Xiao Yu pressed the earphone. Kainun, bring a group of people here and take these 3 garbage back. 35. Then Xiao Yu cast a mental charm and decided to find out what was going on. What's your name and who are you? After Xiao Yu asked the question, he immediately used the level 3 unlock ability of spiritual charm mind detection. Mind detection. As long as you ask a question, no matter whether the other party answers or not, you can hear the inner voice of the target, and the question is just for the purpose of attracting others. Next, all the secrets in the other party's heart will be heard by Xiao Yu. My name is Adrian, and I am a member of the Rose family of the Zile people. Currently, I am the security defense officer of Luhu base, responsible for the defense of the entire base. There are a total of 12 laser traps in the base, 34 machine gun automatic firing holes. Adrian's inner voice was clearly heard by Xiao Yu. In addition to his position, and the weapons deployed in the base, it also includes how many people there are, who is the commander, who are the top executives, where's their headquarters, and how many bases the 6 major families have. Everything you know, say it all at once. He didn't finish talking until Bai Kai and Nigun came with a mobile squadron. The story behind the Zile people, their purpose of destroying the world, and the number of bases in the world made Xiao Yu and Bai Kai and Nigun secretly surprised. Damn Shirai, a hole, for the bullshit belief in the Holy Lord. They even released the T-virus to destroy the world. 343, they should all be damned. Bai Kai and Nigun yelled in anger. Her parents and relatives all died in this annihilation action. How could she not be excited? It is estimated that only Xiao Yu can calm down a bit because he is an orphan. Even so, he hated the evil of the Shelley people. and he must completely eradicate this race in order to feel at ease, otherwise, who knows when there will be another world destruction operation. What surprised Xiao Yu the most was that the Zile people were vaccinated before releasing the T-virus, which made them immune to T-virus invasion, so they don't have the T-virus in their bodies. Therefore, the self-proclaimed purest human being has to rule the world with this identity made. At this time, the other two chalet officers looked at Adrian like a fool, wondering why he would say so much in one go. People obviously only asked your name and who you are as a result. You almost even said what color your underwear was. Is it necessary? At this time, Xiao Yu released his spiritual charm again, and the second and third chalet officers were confused and told more unknown news. One of them made Xiao Yu excited. Below the base of the Sheila people, nuclear fusion engines are used to generate electricity. What a surprise! This group of garbage actually broke through the nuclear fusion technology. Xiao Yu immediately decided that he must occupy this base, and this will become his third base. 173. Base riot, cannibalism. The value brought by a nuclear fusion power generation base makes Xiao Yu extremely excited. Below the Luhu base, there is an automatic rifle production line. There is a production line of exoskeleton suits. There is also a Vulcan machine gun production line, and there are a lot of raw materials for ammunition as long as there is electricity. Xiao Yu was able to modify the equipment to mass-produce 30mm bullets. This is secondary. Connect the electricity in the base to Yizishan. You can get electricity continuously, and then the whole Yizishan can be brightly lit. Even industrial production can be resumed. Of course, Xiao Yu will definitely not live in the Luxa Lake space. He still prefers to live where the sun shines. Only maggots like the Shire like to live in the dark underground. Xiao Yu pointed at the three of Adrian and said, "They are worthless. Kill them. Let me." Bai Qian took out a purple seedling knife from the space warehouse, and cut off 3 heads with one knife. Bah! Maggots. 9. She wanted to do it for a long time, and waited for Xiao Yu's order. Okay, let's go. Just now, Adrian had already told Xiao Yu the location of the secret passage, and now he was going to take everyone to block it. As long as one of the Hale comes out, one must die. Take the key to the secret passage. If there is someone who would rather die than come out, I can only go in and kill. 5. Xiao Yu has learned about it in detail. The laser traps in the Luxa Lake space are not as powerful as machine guns, but the crisscrossing lasers can attack any trapped target without any dead ends. For others it can be a nightmare. However, as long as Xiao Yu performs Yu Xiaojan's lost dance step, his body will be in an illusory state. Not to mention lasers and guns, even black weapons can't hurt him in the slightest. However, Xiao Yu also had doubts in his heart. According to the description of the 3 chalet officers just now, their race began to study biological genes in various biochemical experiments more than 100 years ago. Although a lot of advanced expertise has been accumulated in this area, however, little manpower and energy have been invested in the research and development of nuclear fusion. And nuclear fusion technology was suddenly broken by chalet scientists more than 10 years ago. Xiao Yu was a little skeptical about this. The sudden breakthrough of nuclear fusion technology is not something that can be explained by a genius. So many top scientists in the world, which is not a genius, it's just that your Shire scientists are different. They broke through nuclear fusion with ease. This made Xiao Yu's heart add a layer of doubt. How did the chalet people get their nuclear fusion technology? But there is one thing that makes him very fortunate, that the chalet people have not developed heavy weapons, such as missile technology, black weapon technology, and so on. Because of their purpose from beginning to end, they are all attempts to use genetic and biochemical technology to rule all human beings. It was an accident that the T-virus got out of control soon. Xiao Yu and his party came to the secret passage outside the Luhu base. This is a single-family villa, and the exit is in the underground garage of the villa. It didn't take long. 600 guards and 800 entourages are also in place. 22 magic-modified chariots all turn on the high beams and shoot at the underground garage from all directions. As long as anyone comes out, they will be shot to death. Everyone cheered up. If the people of Shira haven't come out after dawn, we'll go in. Red Queen, I'm here, Master. If I turn off the artificial intelligence host of Luhu base, can you take over this base? Okay, Master just needs to replace my level 2 host with the artificial intelligence host of Luhu base, and I can control it immediately. Correct. Don't destroy the mainframe of Luhu base. Take out the mainframe chip and devour it for me, and I can also obtain all the knowledge stored in the entire base, and the level 2 host can shield an area of 50 kilometers in diameter from the Luhu base. At that time, it can be connected to the shielded area of Yizishan. That couldn't be better as long as the Red Queen can take over this base. Everything will be easier in the future and the shielding range is expanded again at that time. The Zilay people will not be able to monitor even the every move of the Luhu base. The other side inside the Luhu base, Commander Feely is in the monitoring room. He witnessed the whole process of 3 Zilay officers being beheaded by Baikai and Nigun. In fact, after the 3 Adrian left the base, the surveillance had already discovered, and Commander Feely could not capture them. Just let these 3 people try it out. Let's see how strong Yizishan's satellite monitoring capabilities are, and whether it can detect these 3 traitors. Not surprisingly, they didn't escape, and they also revealed the location of the secret passage. Now all the people in Yizishan are blocked outside, these 3 traitors. Damn it, the commander was so angry that he slammed his fist on the table, because he was overexcited. His hand loosened, the wet towel slipped off, and the thick stench was sucked into his nostrils. Ouch, vomit. Commander Felix rolled his eyes. He quickly picked up the wet towel and quickly covered his nose, but the stench was only slightly reduced. The stench has grown stronger. Dr. Abraham looked anxiously on the side and said, Your Excellency Commander, if this continues, there may be riots in our base. A lot of people have been poisoned to death. In my opinion, the best choice is to break through. How many people can be rushed out? And how many people can be counted? Commander Philly also wanted to break through, but the secret passage is in the underground garage. The location is narrow, and you will be shot by the gun when you go out. Don't go out, just suffocate inside. What should I do? Commander Felix paced back and forth. He also thought about letting the tyrant take the lead, but the entrance of the passage was relatively small. The tyrant's huge body can only crawl out. I guess it just popped out. The head will be blown up, and the huge body will block the secret passage. Well, open the door to the passage 99. If they have the guts, they will come in. And by the way, we can also go to the passage and get some fresh air. 5 Soon Commander Felix took a group of high-level executives to the secret passage. After opening the secret door, everyone greedily breathed the fresh air outside, but their whereabouts were seen by the people in the monitoring room. These people can't stand the stench anymore, so they ignored the monitoring and ran to the secret passages. Some of them even called friends. More and more people are coming together. The entrance of the secret passage is only so big that the people in front can breathe fresh air, and everyone squeezes out. Fake, don't squeeze. You quickly squeeze me out. Get back, Commander. Felix pulled out his pistol and yelled at the people behind him, but the people behind him didn't care and were still pushing hard. Commander Philly was pushed back step by step. If you squeeze any more, you will be squeezed out of the secret passage and exposed to the muzzle of Yizishan, a group of blue pools. You don't even listen to my orders. I killed you. Commander Felix raised his hand and fired a burst. Bang bang bang. A pistol magazine was lit. 8 Shirai fell in a pool of blood and despair, sparking the anger of all, and a civil war began. Intensive gunfire rang out in the secret passage, and Commander Filey and a group of high-level officers were the first to be killed by the rioting soldiers. 174. The God we believe in is a powerful creature. The death of the base's top management did not stop the civil unrest. Crazy people just want to rush out, just want to vent the grievances they endured in the base, and they all realized that they have been abandoned by the headquarters. The gunshots were getting louder. The people in front kept falling. The people behind ran out like crazy, and the people who rushed out were directly exposed to the high beams of a pointing mountain chariot. Don't rush to fire, let them come out and shoot. 99 Xiao Yu didn't want the bodies of these people to block the exit of the passage, so they had to be released, and the 22 high beams illuminated these people's eyes. Even if they have guns in their hands, it was also impossible to aim at the people in Yizishan. Besides, everyone found a bunker. Even if the Shelley people who escaped fired randomly, the probability of hitting the guards and their entourage was almost zero. Gradually the Shire people, both men and women, rushed out of the garage, covering their eyes and avoiding the dazzling high beams. Fire. 35. Dense bullets hit the Shire, who fell like reaping wheat. Whether it is Xiao Yu, or the team members and followers, no one sympathizes with these maggots. It is these dark and evil garbage that destroy the world if conditions permit. Xiao Yu would not hesitate to pull these 343 people to feed the zombies one by one, but there are too many people. It is impossible to capture them alive, only shooting them on the spot. The ground began to pile up layer by layer, and those who escaped could not see the road conditions, and they tripped over after kicking the corpse. Some were shot as soon as they got up. Some people didn't even have the chance to get up, and were shot through their bodies by bullets. It was a massacre without suspense. The corpses piled up more and more on the ground, and someone shouted, "Go back quickly, everyone outside is dead, they are blocking us to kill, go back quickly, if you don't want to die. Don't come out." Some people start to calm down and lie a second longer, and no one wants to die right away. Gradually, the people in the base stopped rushing outside. Xiao Yu smiled, since it was all for the sake then wait no more anyway, the people inside are no longer valuable, so you can go in now and change the host of the artificial intelligence first. As long as the Red Queen takes over the base, all laser traps, machine gun automatic firing systems, will be controlled by the Red Queen. At that time, the team members and soldiers outside will be able to rush in. You wait for me, BHCD, I'll go in first. Just as Xiao Yu was about to leave, An Xiaoran ran up and said, Xiao Yu, it's too dangerous for you to go alone, I'll accompany you. 39 Don't look at me like that, I'm very good now, okay? 99 Ye Kimin also stepped forward and said, yes, Captain, we will accompany you in, and we will kill the people inside without leaving a piece of armor. By the way, we can also take care of you. Ye Kimin carried a domineering 6-style sword. There was a strong fighting intent in his eyes at this time. Liu Tingting, Anna, Bai Qiannian, Yi Kishu, Tang Qingsu, Xiao, and Yu Ziajin all gathered around, although not speaking, but the attitude was already obvious, and he wanted to go in with Xiao Yu, whether it was because of the long-term relationship, or the warning bell below the team information. They didn't want Xiao Yu to have an accident. Xiao Yu smiled, don't worry. I just went in and installed the Red Queen host. When the Red Queen takes over the base, I will notify you to come in, and I will have nothing to do. 99 Xiao Yu wanted to say, I have the skills of all of you. If I have an accident when I go in, it won't work if you go in. Okay, wait for my good news. After Xiao Yu finished speaking, he performed the lost dance. His body instantly turned into an illusory state, and then a gust of wind rushed towards the secret passage of the base. Inside the secret passage, it was still crowded with dense crowds of Zilay people. They saw Xiao Yu's figure rushing in, and immediately pulled the trigger. Made, just now you were shot outside by the high beam so that you couldn't open your eyes. And even if you couldn't see anyone, you dared to break in alone. Kill him, he is the man who can fly with one finger. 9 Bitchy, I see how you fly in the secret passage, go to hell. 35 It was he who kept us locked up in the base, breathing the foul air every minute and every second. The Zilay people of Luhu base can be said to hate Xiao Yu to the core. I can't wait to burn him to ashes. The man in front immediately pulled the trigger and shot out with angry bullets. The dense rain of bullets passed through Xiao Yu's body, and the bullets shot on the reinforced concrete wall outside the secret passage, creating dents and scattered craters. Shirai was dumbfounded. What's going on? Is he a shadow? Why does the bullet pass through his body without impact? No, it must be a hallucination. Only a great holy master can ignore any attack. This man cannot be so strong. The Shire are religious fanatics. They firmly believe that only people like the holy master in this world can ignore any attack. The appearance of Xiao Yu directly subverted their three views. Xiao Yu did not pay any attention to these bewildered Zilay people for the time being, but walked through the dense crowd, controlled one person with spiritual charm, and asked him to take him to the main control room, where is the mainframe of artificial intelligence. Warning, intruder, you will die here. The artificial intelligence of Luxalake's base immediately issued a warning. Xiao Yu directly thought he was a fool, who would die, and he would know in a moment. Xiao Yu controlled a Shirai to lead the way, and they quickly came to a narrow passage. When they reached the middle, a red line like a mesh suddenly appeared before and after first laser trap. Xiao Yu smiled lightly and continued to walk forward. The controlled Zilay people led the way with a blank face. At this moment, he had no self and no fear. Soon the laser net slammed back and forth, passing through Xiao Yu and the Zilay people. Xiao Yu, who was in the lost dance step state, was completely intact, while the Shirai who led the way were cut into small pieces by the laser net, and the ground was full of blood and chopped internal organs. Xiao Yu sighed a little regretfully, and then he had to find another one to lead the way anyway. There are many people in the base Killidan and control at the other side, the western continent, the underground base of the Ross family. Ross Frian looked at the internal monitoring of the Luhu base, and for the first time felt his scalp tingling and trembling. He's so powerful, ignoring bullet shooting and laser cutting, and able to move freely through dense crowds. His body has been blurred. He's not human. The reason why Rusefrian is so excited is because he firmly believes that only the Holy Master in this world has this kind of strength, and he serves as the chief of the Hexagon Conference, is the only person qualified to see the Lord. The Holy Lord that the Zilay people believe in is not a fiction, but a real powerful creature. No, I must go to the Holy Lord, even if it's not yet the stipulated time. All this must be told to him. 175, Master, I have taken over the base. Kill them all. Roth Connor walked towards a secret room only he can go in here, but before entering the secret room, he suddenly thought of something, and immediately ordered, destroy all the materials of Luhu base, then cut off all contact with Luhu base. Roth Connor knew very well that the Luxalake's base was finished. In order to avoid being tracked by the other party, it was the safest to cut off the contact with the Luxalake's decisively, including all the information in the Luxalake's base regardless of whether the other party can understand it or not. It must be destroyed to ensure that nothing goes wrong. Roth Connor pushed open the door of the secret room. There were candles burning in the room, and on the ancient walls, many dense texts were carved, all of which were the contents of the scriptures of the Shirai people. Everything in the secret room is quaint. Only the altar in the middle of the secret room exudes the light of modern technology. Roth Connor walked over and knelt down reverently on the ground. The great, omniscient and almighty Holy Lord, your faithful believer, would like to hear your teachings, although it has not yet reached the stipulated pilgrimage day, but your believers have to report something to you, otherwise I can't feel at ease. I believe that you, the omniscient and almighty, can definitely hear my voice. 35 Roth Connor knelt on the ground and looked at the altar with hope. On a special day every winter, he had the opportunity to see the Lord and the whole hill people. Only the chief of the Hexagonal Council is qualified to see the Holy Master once a year. Roth Connor's incomparable worship of the Lord. It was he who gave the Zile people nuclear fusion technology, artificial intelligence technology, and biological gene technology. He is the all-knowing and all-powerful God. 100 years ago, the Shale people were slaughtered by the Western gangsters and almost annihilated. It was also the Holy Lord who saved all the believers. The Lord knows the past and the future. He is omnipotent when he can hear the voice of others. At this time a golden light suddenly descended on the altar, and the golden light enveloped a vague figure. Great Lord, you have appeared. Oh, Holy Lord, I am guilty. I woke you up before the appointed time. You punished me. 35 The man wrapped in golden light did not speak, but at this time, a clear voice sounded in Roth Connor's mind. Lord, I have heard the anxiety in your heart. That flying heretic is your test for you. Go and defeat him. After the sound ends, a set of genetic data floated out of the golden light, and Roth Connor couldn't understand it at all. But he knew that this was the blessing of the Holy Lord. Alas, nuclear fusion technology. It was also the Holy Master who gave a formula from the golden light, and Roth Connor handed this set of formulas to the Shale scientists. It took 3 years to break through the technical difficulties. I don't know what this set of genetic data means. What is certain is that it must have been of great help to the Shale people, and as soon as this set of data appeared, it was deeply imprinted in his mind. Even if Roth Connor couldn't understand it, he could write it out completely and without error. Go. Next year's pilgrimage day, you can see the Lord again. 99 Fall with the sound. The golden light on the altar also dimmed, including the blurred figure in the golden light, which also disappeared after Roth Connor bowed deeply. Immediately leave the secret room. Return to the biological research room at the base, and draw the oracle you just obtained on an A4 piece of paper. It's a set of genetic data, Mr. Roth Connor, where did you get it? 35 Dr. Willis looked at Roth Connor in surprise. The patriarch never understood biological genes and biochemical scientific research and a set of genetic data. Even if you don't understand it yourself, how did the patriarch draw it? Reminiscent of the time when the Zile people broke through nuclear fusion technology, it was also the patriarch who wrote an inexplicable formula, and then the Zile scientists broke through the technical difficulties. Only later did the patriarch announce the news. The nuclear fusion technology was a gift from the Holy Lord, and at that moment, all the Shale people were crazy about it. It turns out that the Holy Master they believe in has been silently guarding this group. This is also why the Shale people are willing to hide in the ground, but also to fulfill the instructions of the Lord and rule the world. Mr. Roth Connor, is this again? Yes, Dr. Willis was speechless because he had seen Roth Connor's eyes. Yes, this is a divine gift from the Holy Lord. You immediately simulate it and see what this set of genetic data represents. Willis dared not delay. He immediately led the team and began to conduct simulation experiments on this set of data. The other side, Xiao Yu replaced 15 Shales who led the way, all of whom were killed by the base's laser traps and automatic firing machine guns. Fortunately, it has now reached the main control room. No more controlling the Shire to lead the way. Xiao Yu came to the AI host. BD, you've been blocking me, right? Now you're dead. Ask for flowers. At this time, a man in a suit suddenly appeared in front of Xiao Yu. In an electronically synthesized voice, he said, warning, you will die here. I advise you to leave immediately. 99 This is what artificial intelligence looks like. FK you mad? He dared to threaten Lao Tzu even when he was about to die. Xiao Yu unplugged the power cord of the host, and the man in the suit disappeared instantly. He took out a level 2 Red Queen host from the space warehouse, plug it back in soon. The indicator light on the main unit began to flash, and within 3 minutes, the Red Queen appeared in front of Xiao Yu. Master, I have taken over control of this base, but I just have control, more actual operations, and all the information about the entire base, and I don't know anything yet. Zero, hurry up and take out its host chip and let me devour it. Devour the host chip. In fact, it is equivalent to obtaining all the stored memories of the other party. Once the Red Queen has these memories, she can manage the base very skillfully. Xiao Yu immediately dismantled the main unit of the original base, pull out the chip inside and plug it into the red host interface. The digestion time was a little longer this time, and after about 5 minutes, the Red Queen's voice sounded again. Master, there is bad news. Before you unplug the original host, someone forcibly deleted some data, starting from the most core biological genes and biochemical scientific research databases. The most important information has been lost, and it can't be recovered, but fortunately you unplugged it in time to save other information and data. Xiao Yu reacted immediately. It must be the headquarters of Luxalake's base, the Ross family located in the western continent. Xiao Yu felt a little distressed. Although they don't look down on those biological genetic technologies and biochemical scientific research materials, they are all experimental data that are anti-human, but he was still very envious of such a big killer as a tyrant. If you can transform the tyrant, you will be able to use the tyrant to sweep the zombies in all the cities in the future, and there will be no post-war trauma syndrome. By the way, can you command the 50 tyrants in the base? Yes, master, I've nearly taken over the entire base, including controlling these bio-warriors. Xiao Yu suddenly laughed. Immediately, let the tyrant kill all the Shirai people in the base. Again. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.